Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 199. Back down in the basement, almost at 200.
Indeed.
Today, we are going to review a WWE PLE. We'll talk about Backlash from last week. We'll talk about Dynamite from this week.
WrestleMania Backlash.
Right. Talk about some Raw, some Dynamite, some NXT, some TNA, SmackDown even. A tiny bit of SmackDown. Timestamps are always listed somewhere if you would like to jump ahead to any section, because normally we start out talking about whatever we want to talk about. And it was the excitement of the ice cream truck. You know, it's almost summer.
That is true.
And we have a little thing of change now sitting by the door. So your brother paused his video game. I guess, I don't know, do you pause video games in this day and age?
Depends on the game, I guess.
Right, he might have just left the video game, ran to catch the
That's true.
ice cream truck, and even brought you some. Isn't that nice?
Splendid.
Yeah, lovely boy. So he's got a doubleheader of basketball games tonight. His summer league first two games, so that's exciting. And then he has football starting on Tuesday. Flag football he's playing this summer. You didn't know that?
I remember he's mentioned it's just a weird choice for him.
Yeah, it's something new to try for the summer. So,
Gross.
and your plans are working for the summer?
I suppose.
Yeah. So Mother's Day tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers who listen.
Anyone who has mothers?
Aunt Kath listens,
Yes, she's
I think, to the beginning, so she might count.
anyone who is a mother.
So there you go. If there's any mothers listening to us, let us know somehow, because we have no idea who's listening, really. It's not a lot of people. I know there are people listening, not a lot.
I'd have to put my guess at less than one.
Over, under number of mothers listening. 1.5, you're saying?
I was thinking
1.5. There you go.
That's most definitely the over under.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll go out. I don't know if we're going out for a meal tomorrow for your mom. You picked her up some gifts. I don't know if you could say it here. I don't think she listens before tomorrow.
I can guarantee she's probably listened to the pod as much as me or more than
so
me,
it's
which is either none.
Something that interests you that she actually liked.
Oh yeah, Legos.
Like
flowers.
Lego flowers, right? And so we were actually at Walmart yesterday doing whatever errands, and she saw them there and said she liked some of them. I can't remember if it's the ones you got that she said she liked, but anyways, she can return, exchange.
I think, I don't know.
But yeah, she doesn't know where she'll put them, but we'll find a place for them. She doesn't know she's getting it. That's right. That's her problem. But it was nice of you to go out and grab her something. I don't know, anything exciting else happened to you this week?
I'm going through Bad Batch withdrawal.
Oh, because it's over, yeah. But you were going back and watching some, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to live in denial for a little while.
You pretend it still exists.
I finished the first season already. So it is interesting just how some things are different now. And I'm finding myself in like tech a lot more now that he's like...
Okay. Gone.
Yeah, and also like, well, even when he died, I didn't really care because it felt like they put focus on him just to kill him off. That's why I thought Crosshair would die.
Yeah.
But then they didn't. So no, I like him on more now. And also with how they were in the last season, you see how important he was as like the brains of the operation.
Yes.
And then there's also like the moment where Wrecker's chip activated for a bit, so he went all evil, but then he's fine after they take his chip out, and like his little moment with Omega was a little more like, I don't know, things are more interesting, and also why the Kaminoans want Omega back, because they're trying to keep the Empire's contract with them. So it's like, now that you know how important Omega is going to be, it's more interesting.
Right, and do you find yourself noticing more details and stuff?
Yeah, that's why.
Because you don't have to focus on the plot anymore.
Not as much, right? And like, even when the new season was coming out, like some of my friends would be like, "Why are you watching it?" Because I think every episode of the new season I watched at least twice, if not more. I think I watched episode 5 like 7 times. Yeah, you watched a bunch of it. That was one of my favorites.
Because you would all watch it before me, and then you would
I'd watch it with you, and sometimes even after you. But yeah, no. So I've been rewatching that because I don't know. I really loved the last season, so it kind of sucks that that's it.
Yeah.
And then there was Tales of the Empire on Saturday.
It started? Oh, it's on Saturday.
It was just like all the shorts, so it's all out, which was okay. Honestly, like we could watch it sometime. Honestly, for someone who hasn't watched like Clone Wars or whatever, it's pretty supplemental viewing, so it's just not like for you. I don't think it'd be something you need to watch.
Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was good, not great, and like it added a bit to the. I guess the first 3 episodes might be relevant to you because it's that one. Remember the Night Sister lady from Ahsoka?
Yes.
It's about her, so that might be relevant to you. And the other one was about Barriss Offee from Clone Wars.
Right.
And like it was good. It adds a bit to them, but if it didn't exist, I wouldn't care really. Like I wasn't clamoring for more of Morgan Elsbeth from Ahsoka. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair.
Like it's there, cool. But I thought they did Tales of the Jedi the other year, which was a lot better because remember Count Dooku from the prequels?
Mm-hmm.
They showed some of his Jedi days and his kind of turn to the dark side, and that was something a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But it was okay. But it was something for Star Wars
Something
Day,
to watch.
It was for Star Wars Day, which I think our episode would have released on Star Wars Day.
It was because you were wearing your May the 4th shirt and I wasn't wearing Star Wars. And now this week I'm wearing wrestling, Brody Lee, and you're not.
I'm wearing whatever I was sleeping in last night.
Oh, you admitted it's pajama time. We're actually recording this on a Saturday.
Business casual.
So this is my favorite time. We get to get up. I drink coffee. Ooh, I'll have to get another one before this is over.
5 waffles.
You ate 5 waffles, yeah. That's interesting. You've got Kenny here, not facing the hard camera. Brother, what are you new? There he is. Before his surgery. I don't really have anything else exciting. You played badminton last night. I played badminton early in the week for the first time in a long time. It was good. It was fun. New facility's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Floors are amazing.
Yeah, the Merc is a lot better.
The Merc. So I was pretty happy about that. But anyways, you want to start talking about some wrestling, I guess?
Sure.
All right. It's our first segment. You know what it is. We'll look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, we'll start with what we always start with, which is the ratings for this week. So NXT averaged 659,000 viewers, which is up 16.8%. So a nice rise there. 0.19 in the key demographic, up whopping 39.7%. Usual competition from?
Sport ball.
Yes, which ones?
The one where you kick it.
Nope.
The one where you punch it.
Nope. Hockey and basketball.
Same thing.
Dynamite, same competition. They averaged...
Sport puck.
That's right. 711,000, up 1.1, so barely moved. And the demographic stayed exactly the same. So pretty much the exact same as last week with sport ball competition as well. I don't have much news. It was kind of not a banner crop this week, but I have like 4 little things. What do you have?
It's not a banner crop. I do also have 4.
Uh-oh, you might have some of mine, so we'll see.
This guy, Kenneth... he said he's undergoing surgery soon. It's a major one, but he trusts his doctor a lot.
Because I was a bit confused because he looked like he was in great shape. He took a beating, but like he's not.
I think that was just to write him off, like keep him in to keep him in a storyline when he comes back, but to write him off further, kind of deal.
I guess it wasn't crazy physicality. It's not like he took a.
No, he just took some shots, and I think they're pretty safe with it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then it'll keep him then he's in that storyline when he comes back, right?
Yes. For sure.
Setting up probably the Okada match, maybe a match against the Bucks as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously he can set up the.
So sorry, was there a time frame?
No, he just said real soon because it was on his Twitch or something. He said that.
And we noticed from watching the King of the Ring stuff this week that Bobby Lashley was pulled, right? Due to injury.
Replaced with Dawkins of all people.
Yeah, replaced with, because it's in one of his stablemates, Angelo Dawkins.
But
right?
I'd go with Ford, if anything.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that choice too. I guess he suffered an injury in training and hasn't been cleared.
I've seen people saying the injured list is pretty crazy right now.
I saw so it's like Drew, Punk,
Charlotte,
Rollins, Charlotte. I saw a graphic with all of them. Lashley.
Yeah, Big E, they even counted,
They did include him. So yeah, lots of people.
The injured list is, it's looking pretty crazy
that
right now.
Dangerous WWE style, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean.
It's probably gotten a little less safe, I don't know, since the new era, but I don't think it's vastly different.
No, not vastly.
No, what do you have?
We'll keep it with WWE. They reportedly struck up like a temporary deal with USA Network to keep them on until they start with Netflix next year.
Oh yeah.
Because they were supposed to be up in like October or something, but I think they'll be temporarily just staying there until Netflix starts up.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that plays out. May mean we get to get rid of the network. And we already pay for Netflix, so I'm hoping everything goes there and it's just one-stop shopping.
I don't know if everything will go there.
I don't know either. That's why I'm curious.
Or like they have to have like their own subsidiary or something, like kind of like the Peacock thing.
No, Kurt Angle's joined Kenny here.
I just stripped him.
If you're not watching, that doesn't make sense. But
yeah,
if you're just listening to audio, more injuries. JC Jane.
Oh, damn it!
Broken nose. They replayed where it got broken this week, and it was total fluke. Just Hale kind of like ended up backhanding her basically in the face while taking another move or something, a hold. Anyways, she had to have surgery, so I don't know how long she'll be out.
Another A-tier wrestler up on that injured list.
I know we're already saying the cupboard is sort of bare for talent in NXT, and now
JC Jane.
Her character work, everything.
I'm not even gonna go.
What are we gonna do? Hopefully she's back for it. Maybe she makes her triumphant return at Heatwave when we're there. Which you just looked up, and it's July 7th.
That would be bad.
So I need some stories built because I'm nervous about
Give Noam Dar the belt.
what we're getting. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
That won't happen.
One
can dream.
I only have 2 more things.
Thing I find funny is WWE's reportedly they're building Solo as like super strong right now, the main force of the bloodline, because they're nervous Jacob Fatu is going to outshine him when he gets here, which is a perfectly reasonable concern.
I told you I'm more intrigued by Fatu.
I've seen highlights of Fatu going around right now. He's crazy.
He's good and he's bigger, and I don't know. He just has more of a presence.
I do like Solo being the heir apparent.
And he's doing the strong silent thing really well.
But he can't compare to Fatu.
I don't think so, but I guess we'll find out.
Like Fatu coming in is a lot more interesting than Tonga and Camacho.
Right, I agree. Especially Camacho. Tonga, whatever.
Tonga's done stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Camacho's rough.
Yeah.
What's his actual Tongaloa? Right.
Yeah, he's going to go with Camacho.
Forever Camacho.
Yeah. You can't escape that.
Did you ever see the footage? One of the other things I have was the Ric Flair incident at a restaurant.
I didn't see the footage, no.
Where apparently he's drunk and gets cut off and, of course, starts doing the whole, like, I put this restaurant over all the time and blah, blah, blah. Like, just kind of
typical.
The manager, whoever he was dealing with, was super calm and just kind of, and even Ric Flair sort of personally attacked a little bit, I think. But yeah, just another embarrassing thing for him. I heard he since came out and apologized. Well, awesome.
I saw that.
You keep doing this stuff, bud. So anyways,
Yep.
I've been done with Flair for quite a while.
Yeah.
I have one other thing.
At least Sting's disappearance seems to have
correct.
Brought about.
Are they doing the Woo Energy still? That's still around.
I've
blocked it out somehow. I don't even notice it.
Finally, Sammy Guevara's AEW suspension's reportedly over. Nothing creatively has been pitched yet. I say you put him back in the Callis family, but just watching, in like 2 weeks, he'll fall under the learning tree.
He's a pillar, man. Don't forget.
He's a tree branch.
That's right. He might.
I can almost guarantee.
Imagine.
It's like 50-50 at this point. Legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, there are chances that it's like, I can't even.
And so
it just, I feel like that's what
if you don't remember, he was suspended for hitting a move and probably concussing Hardy, and he was told to pin him right there, and he went and hit the GTH anyways.
Yeah.
Which is a move to the head. So
I don't really care, but I get why he got suspended.
Yeah. The only other thing have you heard the rumors of who the Wyatt Six are?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if we've heard the same thing.
Howdy, which is Bo Dallas.
Correct.
Strowman, I think. Wait, no, not Strowman. Sorry, Rowan.
Correct.
Right, Rowan. I saw Nikki Cross.
Correct.
Gacy.
Correct.
Loomis.
Correct.
I don't remember the sixth one.
The leader? I heard probably the leader is Alexa Bliss.
I thought the leader would be Bo.
I can't remember where I heard it. I apologize. I'd give them credit. I know I say that all the time, but I consume a lot of stuff, so I don't know.
Also, your memory's horrible.
It starts out with us thinking that, and then eventually it emerges that Bliss is the actual leader.
Okay, that's all right.
But anyways,
I don't hate
how do you feel about Gacy and Loomis? I was hoping you didn't know those two.
Gacy I'm okay with. Because Gacy in ring, he's good, so that adds some quality to them. And like Schism, it's like in that wavelength, you know what I mean?
I agree. And
that's okay. And Gacy does good with
remember when he was first doing the like the motivational speaker or whatever gimmick? I liked it.
Gacy's not bad, so I think
and he'll try the hell out of it.
Loomis
too.
I don't love.
I imagine he's just gonna sit there and not say anything.
He won't say anything. It's just even in ring I never really liked him that much. So he's the choice I don't love. Because like Rowan I like because like that's ties to Wyatt.
Okay,
and
I know
like
we've talked about it before. What was the match we actually thought Rowan looked really good?
It was the Revolution pre-show from like last year. It was him and Death Triangle. I think it was minus Phoenix and against House of Black.
Like,
and he
awesome.
did really good. Yeah.
He did.
So and he's not horrible. He's never my favorite.
He's
but like,
huge.
And so for like an actual Wyatt family title, that's fine. Bo, I'm really interested to see what he does actually, just because it's been so long since we've seen him, and this is like complete departure. From what
Bo
he's
Dallas
done.
by the end, but
yeah,
it's very different. Obviously.
Completely different from whatever he's done before. And then like Nikki Cross also makes sense to me.
It does.
That's solid.
Based off her sanity stuff, right?
That's totally fine.
There's transferable skills there.
And dare I say a women's tag team?
True.
Which we need.
What's that? I'm not familiar with those words put together.
It's like two women
team for the purpose of what?
Winning a title actually, and like wrestling, but like consistently though.
And if you do, you're definitely getting the title.
Pretty much.
Because it's more so, it used to be like, you just hang around long enough, you're getting the women's title. And it's even more so that.
It's more so, you just hang around with like a partner.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea
Just
Green won them with
Don't
Sonya
make it too
Deville.
big as a singles, and you will be a tag
Yeah,
champ,
like
guaranteed.
pretty much. But I think it's not a bad roster. It's not like perfect to me, but
Yeah,
I don't know who I would put in Loomis's place.
the pieces kind of make sense, to be
Yeah.
honest. So
I
we'll see.
see, like, even when I don't love Loomis being there, but it could kind of make sense to me because his silent thing, you could kind of mold that whichever way you want.
And I don't think you saw it, but he was doing Sam Shaw in TNA.
I've seen bits of that, but
and
yeah,
he
that
was
could
like
work.
a stalker.
I mean, if they
He
wanted to
was kinda
rebrand
cool.
Loomis and had him like talk more, I don't care. Like,
And who was he stalking? The redhead from WWE.
Christy Hemme.
Right.
And wasn't Gunner involved in that? Which is
Gunner.
Jackson Riker.
Redacted.
Redacted.
Yeah, severely.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So no, I've seen bits of that, I think.
Yeah.
But no, I'm interested in it, and anything Bray Wyatt related, I'll give a shot.
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, well, we need to go back in time a week to talk about the first thing we're going to review, which is a PLE offering from our favorite WWE. And that is this year's WWE Backlash. Right, so this was only 5 matches and under 3 hours. We were saying it's less than
Raw.
their weekly programming, right? So that's like NXT takeover kind of stuff. Not quality wise.
No,
although
no, and let's not be crazy.
I
here.
will say that
For
how many
PLE, it
years
was good.
how many years has Backlash been like terrible?
Well, last year was solid, I think. That was the Puerto Rico one, if you remember.
I don't remember. I thought it was bad.
There's
last
the
year.
Bad Bunny match with like.
Oh, that was actually over delivered. I remember.
And that show was fine. Then 2022 was that one. I don't remember much from. The 2021 one was bad. 'Cause remember there was the zombie lumberjack match.
Oh my god, yeah.
The notoriously bad one was 2018. 'Cause remember there was the Miz Rollins opener that was really good, and then everything else sucked.
Oh yeah, we did.
That's
like
the
Miz
notoriously bad one.
You're right.
So no, and then Backlash 2017 was when Jinder won the title. So yeah, it doesn't have the best track record, I suppose.
And the stories and stuff in terms of
a lot of
drama,
rematches too, like
pretty
with
much
the post-Mania shows, which they didn't do here. To
most
their credit.
predictable outcomes.
Yeah,
pretty much, right? But I thought like that kind of meant maybe they focused on in ring because it delivered in some aspects there.
It helped from like a hot crowd.
Oh my god,
the crowd was crazy.
That's what we'll address first. The crowd was insane, and I know there was the odd time where I know people have been critical of it, and I think it's kind of a hot take to be like the crowd took away from it. There was a couple times where I thought
it was a bit much sometimes, but it never like was a negative to me.
No, I thought there were times where they were amusing themselves, where I would rather they were focused on something.
That also helped amuse me though, because sometimes I'm not super into the main roster.
They were
so
fantastic.
They were hot the entire time, especially during AJ.
Yeah. And I don't know what they were saying. I said if they go back,
he's phenomenal.
I would like them to have one commentator who could tell us what some of the chants are.
Yeah,
because they went back to some constantly throughout the show, and I have no idea. And my French is okay actually, but I wasn't picking up.
It was funny though.
It was because it was only, what did they say? Like wasn't over 20,000, I don't think.
No, it wasn't like crazy.
I want to say 11 or 17.
It was hotter than like Puerto Rico, I think.
Yeah,
the Puerto Rico show last year was pretty crazy. The London.
Any comments on the set or anything?
It's like one of those the crooked ramps they do in like the bigger or the international venues, so that's fine. I don't like the stages are never, I guess, because they're always trying to fit as many people as they can. So they usually like do like a minimalist set, and then like, it's got like the kind of ramp that kind of curves a little, which really screws over the people who are like sitting right near where the entrance is, because then it's like, because even if it's a straight alleyway, you might be able to see a little better, but it's like there's just some spots in that venue that have to be like you're just watching a screen.
I hope they're discounted tickets there, right?
Yeah,
you pay full price and you don't really get to see anything,
basically.
So I'm just gonna go over matches, all the stuff in between. Didn't really care about.
I don't even remember anything.
Me either. So opening match is tag team action. We get Kevin Owens and Randy Orton taking on Tama Tonga. This is first match, right? And Solo Sikoa. So it is the fact that it's Tonga's first match that adds some interest for me, just to see. I mean, I've seen him in New Japan.
I don't think I've ever really watched Tama
I haven't
Tonga.
seen him a ton.
I don't remember the last time I've seen him.
So all four are brawling on the floor to start. Security gets involved quickly. Owens, attacks some of the security, stuns some of them. All this comes out and basically like makes it a street fight. long story short, right?
Just
And the crowd is very excited about this already.
Yeah, because they were booing him when he like came out or something there. Because he was like, it looked like he was just gonna like, because he was telling them to stop fighting or something like that.
A staple of WWE PLEs now, the hydration station gets destroyed early or even before
I think
it starts.
Owens hit someone with like the big prime bottle or something.
Lots of back and forth brawling to start. We get an Owens
Crowd brawling
splash off the barricade. Orton drops people on the announce tables. Trash cans to heels. We get kendo sticks. The baby faces get out tables.
They should have done the thing that Cross and AOP did at Mania, where it's just like if anyone tries to move at all, you just relentlessly beat them with sticks.
That would make a lot of sense.
It really amused me.
We get Owens frog splash off the apron to Tonga through a table. Solo with a Samoan drop to Orton through a table. And I put the wrestling finally starts with Solo and Owens, not meaning that the other stuff wasn't enjoyable, just that now there's two people in the ring facing off for the first time in this. Jack compares Tonga to Butch.
Yeah, some of his booking people have been like liking it, where he's just been like crazy vicious and he beat Owens
hyper vicious.
The hyper vicious and like relentlessly attacking people to a point where you have to be stopped is
Butch
highly reminiscent of Butch's initial
Butch-esque.
run. Like when he came in, he was the attack dog basically.
And we hated it.
It makes me angry still, but like Tonga's not like, because obviously he still walks normally, he's a little more like classy, I guess, with Solo, but he's
still that hyper violent sidekick.
There's just elements of that, and it is a little Butch-esque, which
it's not the best.
No, I don't like that.
Kendo stick to Owens now with Orton nowhere to be found, and so there's lengthy isolation and domination of Owens by the heels here, and I'm like, so many inaudible crowd chants, so you can hear that they're super loud but not sure what they're saying. Maybe not even inaudible.
The only chant
I
noticed was definitely the Bailey one, because that's been around for years.
Yeah, that's standard.
I love that one.
Cole tries to explain, remember, why Tongans and Samoans are working together. I didn't catch what he...
For me, it's as simple as Rikishi and Haku are a tag team in that
That's
era.
That's enough canon for it to be fine.
Which I guess is fair, but like, to call it a bloodline is little...
Yeah.
Unless there is some sort of...
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It really doesn't... Like, well, wasn't Tamina initially with the Usos too, and she's a Snuka, so it's like, is that part of it too?
I don't know.
Like, there's no way
I should have made
know.
specific note of what they said. I just was like, they referred to it, but I don't know what the explanation was.
I don't know.
Orton finally returns, takes control of Tonga, draping DDT, RKO, but Solo Sikoa makes the save. Orton counters the Samoan spike with an RKO on the announce table. Owens gets chairs, uses them, to Tonga as he sets up four of them. This looked pretty awesome. The Avalanche Fisherman Buster by Owens onto four chairs.
That was pretty sweet.
4 chairs set up too. Camacho pulls the ref out.
Yeah.
A little bit late, right?
Yeah, he almost missed his cue, but so the
first time ever
Camacho returns to
break
up the pin, or aka Tongaloa, or Tama Tonga's tag partner in Guerrillas of Destiny.
Yes.
But he, for the real ones, know he's Camacho.
That's right.
Of Hunako's sidekick. Also, I think, wasn't he like the first takeover match or something? Something like that. Or he was...
I think you're right.
I swear we were, because we watched that.
I think we did.
NXT takeover. I'll look it up.
So anyways, he steps up to Orton, and back in the ring, we get a spinning Solo to Owens on a chair, Samoan spike, and Solo pins Kevin Owens. I did not make note of how long the match was.
Adam Rose beat Camacho.
Nice. So I don't know how long this match was, but I thought it was really fun, and I thought it was a really good match that was helped by like a crazy crowd. The
crowd definitely helped, and also for like a WWE's no DQ, I thought it was pretty entertaining. Like there's some solid spots in there, and Camacho is notable, I guess.
That's exactly like one guy's first match, another guy's just showing up, so that's notable.
Another
I thought
Tongan.
Owens took a ton of punishment. Orton seemed to be kind of out of the way for a lot of like Owens just getting killed, which is what Owens does. He's fine with that.
Owens
I'm sure.
can take that.
I thought it was like a good car crash of a match with the Bloodline finding a way to win, right?
Which
you
is always going to happen.
We didn't make
when they're
predictions, but I would have predicted this.
Yeah, I would have taken it. And Meltzer, man.
Meltzer loved this. I gave it 3 3/4 stars.
I'll agree with that. He went 4 3/4, which is crazy.
Bananas. Can you see how long it was?
Yeah. All of his ratings on this were like, it was like it's a New Japan Tokyo Dome card. Like it was crazy how highly he rated this. This one was 19 minutes.
I thought it was
a
good choice for the opener.
Yeah, it got the crowd hyped too.
The crowd's already hyped, and then you get Aldis come out and make it a street fight, and they go nuts, right? The kind of action you want to start. So I thought a really good start. I thought the momentum carried over. We get the women's championship. What championship is it? I don't know.
The WWE Women's Championship, not the world one, because even though this one's in France, it's like this is why I didn't like.
Here we go. The stickler.
It's just I don't mind them. I feel like the Raw and SmackDown titles were a better distinction.
Yeah.
Because then it's like they're the champion Raw, the champion SmackDown. It's like, what's the difference between Bayley being the women's champion and Becky being the women's world champion? You know?
Not much.
It's like feels like then now we should have
Same with the men's then.
a unified title. Well, for me, the world title and the WWE title, I guess it is the same thing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then like with the tag titles too.
Yes.
When they changed it back, so this is why I'm saying like it didn't make sense for them to protect the champions now that they're not brand exclusive.
Yeah.
Because to me, then that would have made sense when you had the brand exclusive titles, because then there's a reason to keep those champions there, aside from obviously wanting to have certain champions on your show.
I just don't like the name of the show in the championship.
I don't.
And it sounds limiting. Like, oh, you're a champion of a TV show.
I agree,
Congrats.
but that's basically what they are still.
They are.
Here. So at least it's like a clear distinction of that. You know what I mean? It makes it. And then for you, it's like.
I don't know what they are.
But then with the Raw and SmackDown belts, it's very clear to you which is which.
Because I'm constantly relying on you to be like, whatever championship
exactly. So
it is.
it's a little weird to me for sure.
Yeah. So triple threat match for Bayley's championship here. We get 1 million pin attempts early as the crowd is just still right off the rip going crazy.
I want Stratton to go back to the theme she had before this one too. Her theme was good.
Yeah. This one suits her, but I like the other one better.
Yeah.
Stratton is being like the opportunistic heel here as the baby faces are a little reluctant to
because for some reason Bayley and Naomi are such good friends.
Right. They travel the road together.
Yeah,
that's what we assume. That's the first thing.
Yeah, that's what you got to assume until they tell you something different
right.
about the story.
Naomi's gone for a while, so the other two can face off. We get a nice cartwheel into an Alabama slam from Stratton.
Yeah, she does that, and it's kind of. It looks like. I think she did it once on the outside or whatever, and I was kind of like, what are you doing? But then it worked out to that, and I was like, okay, it makes sense.
Naomi spears Tiffany off the apron. Stratton dispatches of Naomi in the timekeepers area, only to be hit by a dive from Bayley as she turns around. We get a Naomi blockbuster to Bayley off the barricade.
Oh, solid.
We get a twerking heat seeker and a split-legged moonsault by Naomi to Stratton.
She did like MJF's heat seeker, but she landed on her knees instead.
Yeah, didn't look quite as good. Naomi powerbombed to Stratton and Starstruck, but it's broken up by Bayley with an elbow drop. We get
Starstruck the submission?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I thought so.
It's like Rings of Saturn-ish.
It's like, well, the way she usually does it, she goes into a sunset flip and like keeps it like, so it's kind of like a sitting Rings of Saturn kind of like.
It's all right.
Almost like Heartless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like Heartless. Bayley to belly to Stratton for 2. Stratton and Alabama slams each of them onto announce tables.
That's what I was thinking of on the outside. That was solid, but like it did look a little soft because obviously it is a risky spot to do. So I understand like kind of being careful on that, but it did look a little like
she wasn't fully.
Could have whiffed him a little more. You know what I mean?
She misses the prettiest moonsault ever, and the baby faces get together.
She does a really good job though of like landing on her feet and then like
her
rolling
moonsault's
back
awesome.
through, but like. Because she does like she'll do the back flip, land on her feet, and then kind of do like a back roll through it. Like it just looks really clean when she's missing it.
Yeah,
she gets back up really smooth.
And then the faces team up to hit her with a 3D.
That was strange.
Yeah, and then the friends.
I guess Naomi's with the Usos, one of the Usos. She's with Jimmy.
Bloodline.
She is a better case to be in the Bloodline than the Tongans, in my opinion.
I agree. So the friends then take the fight to each other, and Bayley ends up rolling up Naomi for a quick pin.
Roll up is a weird finish here.
I don't know how long that one was either. I didn't make
13-10.
So I actually thought this was really good. I think I liked it more than you did. I thought Stratton looked like
I don't think I paid attention as much.
I think Stratton looked like a star here.
Stratton ends up looking really good. I feel like she's had a couple of really strong swings between this and what was it, Chamber in Australia.
Yes, she's looking really good, as I'd hoped. She's a little more seasoning, and she's going to be a huge deal. Yeah. Again, crowd energy helps this.
Who are we comparing? Oh, Cargill. She's a lot better than Cargill.
Because that will come up later. I think that was Meltzer's comment I was reading, right? Where he was saying like similar amount of experience, but Cargill still looks like what was it?
She has to be like walk through. She like looks more robotic. Like she's thinking of what she's going to do next.
Processing what to do next, whereas
and Stratton's just kind of
flowing through it,
going with it. Yeah,
looking really good.
For sure.
So yeah, I thought Stratton was a standout, really entertaining match, predictable result. Would have predicted this too.
Yeah, I don't think Bayley's. I think that's the case for a lot of the champions where I don't think it's going to end quite yet.
No, exactly. But I gave this 3 3/4 stars. Yeah. I thought this is one of the better women's matches. Like I loved Io and Bayley, was it?
Yeah, and Becky and Rhea was solid. I mean,
so Bayley's like putting together good matches for me right now.
Yeah,
so I went 3
I'm glad she's back in the spotlight. Yeah, this was good. I liked it a little less than the other match, so I'll go 3.5.
That's fair.
But I thought it was really good. And I think Stratton should be the one to beat Bailey. I think that would make most sense.
I think so too.
Give Bailey a solid run. Don't get me wrong, but maybe like come SummerSlam even.
And Stratton's character work is good. Sometimes
Stratton.
the live promos aren't amazing,
but that's a minor thing.
But recorded stuff, she's good.
That's where you're gonna have to work on it.
Exactly. She's young.
Yeah.
Then I thought things took a little bit of a lull's a strong word. I didn't think it was terrible, but we get into Jey Uso taking on Damian Priest.
To call this a world title match feels weird to me.
For which title now?
The world heavyweight title.
Okay.
The Rollins belt, we'll call it for now, if that's helpful.
Right. I will say this. I am not a fan of the Usos as singles. His entrance here was bananas.
It was pretty electric.
With everyone with their...
Doing the...
It was great. And the flashlights, remember? It was just a million lights.
Yeah.
It looked incredible.
It did look cool, but like, I've been saying this, and he's a joke.
I know, and I don't enjoy him at all, but the
entrance was sweet. Yeah,
was
awesome. But he's over. I'm not saying he's not over, but as a main eventer, as a world title challenger, you can't take him seriously.
I mean, is he over, or is the gesture and the yeet over?
He's over.
Does that mean he's over?
Yeah, because he's the one doing that.
I guess.
But like, it's just dumb, and because I said this already, but when he was quote main event Jey Uso and he was challenging Roman, he wasn't doing all the yeet stuff.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing all this.
He
felt like a somewhat of a threat to Roman at SummerSlam. The match wasn't good. Remember the tribal combat, but
yes,
he did feel like a legit challenger in that time because he wasn't doing all this crap. Like this doesn't feel legit to me. He doesn't feel like someone who should be holding Sammy's belt, let alone this belt. And so it doesn't work for me. And also, no offense to Priest, I also am not feeling him as a world champion either. I get it's like this kind of like his.
This is the test run and get him known as a champion and in that orbit.
But to
and
me,
then flip it to Drew.
I hope so. Definitely makes it feel like the secondary world title, which Rollins worked so hard to kind of prevent.
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of did this with the world heavyweight title back then too. Because you had guys like Jack Swagger getting it, or like
you hope that it legitimizes them, so then they stay in that tier, and then the next time they get it, people are like on board because he has pedigree now.
And this is kind of why the WWE title is always the main one, because you're not doing this with that belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that one was the one where it's like Roman's held it forever, Cody's getting it. Like Priest wasn't gonna get a test run with that.
No, for sure not. Not the way they are right now. No chance.
I mean, I feel like there's always going to be that perception with 2 world titles, but it's just like I just don't. I'm gonna give Priest a chance because I've always kind of liked him.
Yeah.
But I'm not super feeling it in my opinion.
Like to me, if you look at Priest as that champion and Walter as Intercontinental, the Intercontinental was way more important.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And that might not be entirely fair because Priest is still new, but I would still agree with that sentiment. And also, I would even wager, like, if you put it on Balor right now, I'd buy more. Balor has more top guy potential for me.
Well, and he has the pedigree because he had a little run. He's
Balor,
already taken the step that Priest is taking now.
Balor didn't really have a run. He had NXT.
He had it for a minute.
Yeah, he had it for a day. So,
and I'm not saying I don't like Priest. It's just what this run feels like.
It's just not. I'm not feeling it as of now. And I guess it was always going to be this way, but it's just weird to me. And it's just not a good combination with that and Jey Uso, as I already mentioned.
So the yeet stuff annoys me right away, but that's just like I can't.
Like I find
yeet
it funnier.
And meat could both go away.
I think meat's funny.
You do enjoy the meat.
I find meat funny, but yeets just do. Like that's the thing that died years ago. I remember when I was a kid, and that was.
It just feels like that's for like the under 10-year-olds, and they will love that, and that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know why it's still.
It drives me
existing.
crazy. Anyways, Jey is driven into the barricade as Priest controls the action early on. We get an Uso back suplex that turns the tide. He takes over for a bit. JD McDonough shows up to crotch Jey so Priest can take over. But Priest isn't happy about the help, right? Like he's kind of doing that whole thing where he wants to do it on his own, I guess, now that he's champ. Super kicks to both heels, splash to Priest for 2. Razor's Edge by Priest for 2. South of Heaven is countered with a spear for a 2 count. Balor runs in but takes a kick. Uso runs into a clothesline and a South of Heaven for a near fall, and the crowd just goes bananas at this point.
I find it interesting that and it's been for some time now, but that South of Heaven's kind of become the finisher.
It has. It actually looks cool.
It does look good. I do like it. He definitely puts some oomph on it. Like,
yes,
even when he hit on like McIntyre thing, like he puts some oomph on it. So
and the sit out part, instead of just dropping people, helps too.
It does make it look better. But I just find it funny because the Reckoning was like a slight variation on the Crossroads.
Exactly. So you can't be doing that.
It's very clear why that's
correct. Is gone.
Not here. I remember when they tried to change it to Hit the Lights because Reckoning was in Retribution, so it's went through a name change and then it's been like phased out, which I
baby
find funny.
step to not existing anymore.
It's funny.
We get Priest tornado kicks, Jey super kicks. Uso splash, but McDonough puts Priest's foot on the ropes at the
Yeah.
last second. Dive to McDonough, spear to Balor.
I think Jay using the spear is kind of like, isn't that kind of stupid? Because he wanted to get away from the bloodline.
But then
whenever.
does
Now
all
he's
their
like,
stuff.
well, he's just adopted the spear.
You
only
can never
af-
leave. That's the point.
He adopted the spear only after. Like, it just seems kind of stupid to me. I don't know.
Jay gets crotched, avalanche south of heaven, and it's over. Don't know how long it was.
15:45.
So, I don't know.
It was fine.
Right, the first half was kind of basic. Second half picked up. Again, crowd adds like a quarter to pretty much everything, it feels like. Still not a lot of drama to this, right? Jay was never winning, like we said.
And it never felt like a big feud either. And then I feel like kind of Finn Balor looks like a bitch because literally the next night he loses to Jey Uso and also lost to Jay in the run up to this. But then Priest beats him. So it's like, I guess he got help too, but just Balor looks kind of stupid losing to Jay twice.
And they're kind of using Jay as like a tool to expose there's some issues with the Judgment Day, right?
Yeah.
That's the only real story going here. I thought good final few minutes. Not as good as the I went 3 1/4. Like, yeah,
I'll agree with that. Yeah, it was
decent.
Fine. It wasn't a bad match. It's just it lacked anything of major interest.
Yep. Then we get back to tag team. It's women this time. It's the Kabuki Warriors defending the women's tag team championships.
Women's tag titles are defending the PLE and not either of the men's. What is this?
Wow. They're taking on. I almost said Cora Jade. Nope. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I wonder who's winning this. Like, I think you and I were like, there's no universe that Jade Cargill is not winning this match. So early on, it's Belair dominating Asuka, and then they both tag out. We get some. I actually thought they looked good. Uranagi backbreakers to Kairi Sane, but then Jade like quickly turns out.
Mm-hmm.
The light is gone. We didn't make it that long.
Goes.
That's okay. We get a tandem lift and drop of Sane before some babyface posing. Belair continues to dominate until an Asuka kick out on the floor. We get a Kairi Sane high cross to Belair. The heels then isolate Belair for a bit, of course, because Jade has to be the hero in this scenario, right? Belair with a suplex to Asuka. She tries to tag out, but Sane cuts her off, knocks Cargill off the apron to allow some more double teaming of Belair to sort of build the heat, right, for that inevitable Jade tag. We do get the Jade hot tag, springboard crossbody, and a boot before Stinger splashes for both of the Warriors. Then a series of kicks from Sane and Asuka, and I thought a sloppy Kairi Sane backbreaker. I don't remember exactly. It was a week ago, but
I do remember something like that, but I'm having trouble like specifically recalling.
And then I put issues over who is legal and Jack is annoyed.
Yeah, like Kairi kept trying to pin her or something when she wasn't legal, and then like the ref kept telling her, but she kept trying to do moves.
Yeah,
and then she tagged out to Asuka. I'm like, but Asuka's already legal. It was just like it was really messy for a time. There were some periods in this match that were kind of weird.
I could see Jade talking and calling spots or whatever. I'm probably not calling spots.
Not like hearing it, but like you can tell, you can see that the wheels are turning. Kinda.
Yes. Choke slam to Sane. Double Warrior armbars. All 4 are down at one point. Belair makes a blind tag, DDT into a wheelbarrow slam.
Sorry, don't you mean a Juju Katami?
For 2, I guess so, yeah.
Getting judged.
Yeah, exactly. Insane elbow reverse DDT combination.
I do like that.
Jade breaks up the pinfall attempt. Jade catches Kairi Sane coming off the top, shifts her around impressively, actually, into Jaded while Belair hits the KOD on top. And it's over. We have new tag champs. Shocking. Hard to believe.
Shock horror.
I thought this was solid. You had the faces dominate the first half, whatever.
They made Jade look impressive, but not like entirely comfortable.
Yes, I agree. They limited her, like she was obviously coming in for the hot tag and a couple other things, and the offense she hits looks pretty good. The boot looks good.
Most of the time,
Jaded was impressive, just the way to get to it.
It's just like she needs more fluidity in between.
It's all the little stuff in between that only really wrestling nerds like us probably like notice or care about.
The stuff Stratton has down,
right?
Pretty much.
It's that suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
With Cargill, you can.
I could kind of see when she, like you're saying, when she's communicating spots, when she's kind of like setting something up.
But obviously massive potential, and she looks like a star.
Yeah, so she looks
that
solid.
Airport test she passes.
And everyone else did their part really well. Like Belair, Sane, and Asuka can all go, so they all did their parts well.
I went 3 1/4.
I'll agree.
Yeah. And then it's just the main event, right?
Which was 27-20. This one was 17-25.
And I did not take any notes on it because I was just like, I'm just going to watch it. But I thought it was an excellent.
I thought it was good. Meltzer rated it 5 stars, which is crazy.
I did not.
I would not go 5 stars.
I went 4 1/4.
I'll go 4.
Like, I don't remember what I thought the storytelling in the ring was better than the storytelling leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like, they built drama just even though knowing there's no world where Cody is losing. I felt like
Oh,
they
they did
built
good. The
some
crowd
drama within
really
the
amused
match.
me. They were chanting something for AJ whenever he was in control,
I don't. And the finish was only one Crossroads, right?
which is ludicrous.
Strange because it's become like
Super
3
Cody
is
Cutter,
the
there
standard.
was like the
Oh,
burning
that's right.
hammer, and Cody kicked out at 1.
Oh, right. There
Which-
you go. You got some
Which
highlights.
I was saying he's not Osprey.
No, he's
Or
not.
was
Osprey.
it, or Takeshita kicked out of the hidden blade at 1 or something?
And AJ's looking bigger than ever. Obviously.
AJ's looking good.
But it was nice to have AJ in the match again. Like, I thought it was a super strong match.
And AJ's proven he's still good. Like,
5
right?
stars
So,
is crazy to me.
5 stars is crazy because that to me is like, what did he?
Well, considering we don't go above 5 stars, and that's the problem with Meltzer now, is like 5 stars means it's 2 stars worse than
The highest match ever.
right.
Or is that to say, like, I don't remember what he rated Osprey Omega, but it had
6,
to be.
I think.
Yeah, so it's like, are you telling me it's almost as good as that? No.
Or no, Osprey Omega was that? I think that
Depends
was 6.
which one.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, that's the problem now because a 5-star match isn't really a 5-star match anymore. So I don't. For me, it has to have like a real build and story for me to go. I'm
Also,
stingy though.
for
I don't give a lot of
me,
5s.
It's also really hard to go 5-star in WWE as well. Just with what I
Yes.
tend to like now,
So
it's not ever going to be there.
excellent match, man. Helped by a really hot crowd, and I could almost go 4.5 if I really had to. But overall, I thought the show over delivered a lot. Like,
Yeah, I thought it was good, especially for a PLE.
like the worst thing was 3.25. That's a decent match.
Yeah, nothing was bad.
So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a very solid B, almost a B plus. But I didn't really have only one 4.25-star match. So I didn't do the math on this one. Sometimes I do, but it felt like a solid B. Like, it went by quickly. There was nothing that made me like groan.
Yeah.
There was 3 matches I really liked and 2 that were fine.
I agree. I
Right?
think a B is fair. If you had a couple other things better, then it would get bumped up for sure. But for a main roster review, it's like pretty consistent, which is good.
And pleasantly surprised by one of the minor PLEs, right? So, yeah, all in all, a pretty enjoyable show. All right, we'll shift gears into what we normally do. And the first thing, we'll be taking a look at this past Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. There we go. Now it's working. Tell me about Dynamite, son.
We open up with a quick Adam Copeland interview. He said he's not feeling too great and his mind's been wandering. It's the mist.
It's the mist. The mist.
The mist.
The terrible mist.
He says he has to stop it, and tonight it gets stopped. He said he got off the phone with Tony Khan, who agreed to make it a no DQ match between
That sounds
him
cool.
and Brody King tonight. Agreed. And he says tonight they'll get the Rated R Superstar like they wanted.
So I know I'm not the biggest Copeland fan, but he can actually act, right? So if you need a wrestler to do this, like, slow change from being misted and sort of,
He's a pro.
he is
he's
good
a pro.
at doing that.
And
so
this match makes it a little more interesting for me just because it'll cater to his strengths more, I feel like.
yeah, and like the angle's a little bit silly, like that mist got sprayed in his face and it's changing his personality, but like he's doing a good job pulling it off. And I love Brody King, so getting him in a no DQ match or whatever sounds awesome.
And at least like we've seen people change from the mist before too. Like so the precedent's been set
Yes, exactly.
with Julia Hart.
And I'm up
Sky
to
Blue. Although
Believe
historically
some nonsense every now and then.
agreed. And historically it's only been women though, so
Right. Brody is the
we
first.
don't know about the changes on a
Or sorry,
guy.
Brody. Edge is the
Edge.
first one.
And I made a note that the Elite are still hoarding the Dynamite intro.
They
Which I
are.
thought was funny.
Which is NWO style. I think they did that.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Then we open with Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta, who's still got the whole best friends theme, and
I said his shirt
Everyone-
is funny.
his shirt's funny because he had it like taped out, so it's only got him on it. It just says best.
Best with him. Yeah. Everything
So-
else is just taped over.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yep.
Suicide dive from Cassidy sends Trent in the ring post a couple times. Some crowd brawling. Cassidy runs through the crowd at Trent and he gets backdropped over the barricade back on the ringside floor. Trent hits his running shotgun knee. Cassidy comes back with an orange punch. So they're both down, kind of finisher. Callis walks down. He joins commentary after the commercial break, and I believe he stuck around the whole show.
He was, because Taz is gone dealing with knee problems. So yeah, I think he definitely was here way well past this match. I
Yeah.
think whole show.
I want to say. Cassidy goes for a Stone Millionaire. Trent tries to counter that in a half-and-half suplex, which I thought was cool, but Cassidy avoids that and connects with his tilt-a-whirl DDT.
hmm
Trent avoids the orange punch, connects with a half-and-half suplex, which looked pretty sweet. Trent flips off the fence and connects with a solid pile driver and connects with the second one as well. Running shotgun knee from Trent, which also looked really good.
Yes.
Then he goes to expose the turnbuckle, but he gets caught by the ref. While that's happening, Cassidy exposes the opposite turnbuckle, and
Sneaky.
sends Trent into that before rolling him up for the win. After the match, Trent jumps Cassidy ringside. Some ground and pound, eye gouge, and then he hits a pile driver on the steel stairs, which looked pretty gnarly.
It looked really good. From that angle, too, you could see his head.
And then he did like that decapitator thing where he catapulted
under the ring,
the steel ring frame, which looked pretty cool too. Then he went around to grab a toolbox. Cassie got up with a steel chair in hand. There's kind of a standoff, and then Callis kind of takes Cassie, and they walk off, and Statlander's trying to reason with Trent.
Yeah, and at one point, when Trent hit the Psycho knee, he did like the mocking hug pose.
I kind of like that as if that's like corner taunt to set up.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was kind of funny.
I thought the match was good, but it's clearly not the end of this, so they're for sure like saving something.
Which benefits Trent
for what's coming later. But Cassidy,
double or nothing, I feel like.
Sorry?
Double or nothing.
Yeah, I think so too, like the blow off. Yeah. But like Trent attacking the neck with the pile driver and stuff looked really good. Cassidy looks resilient as he always does. Right, and he had to win in whatever way he could, which happened to be a roll-up. So, and the sudden loss for Trent, the other thing was they kept bringing up, like, this is the first pinfall attempt. There wasn't any before that, and that Trent could have won at several points throughout this, but ended up losing.
So it doesn't necessarily make him look bad.
No,
and also Cassidy eking out a win is very reminiscent of his title run. So.
Right, and it gives Trent reason to be even more angry and violent, and then do the post-match attack, which I thought looked really good. So this is still like Trent's never going to be a main eventer, so what are we doing here? But like I thought they told a good story here. Like you got too involved in trying to hurt Cassidy. He ended up outsmarting you. Now you're super mad and you're trying to kill him after the match. Yeah. And then Callis' involvement, we'll see. Like obviously he's recruiting. Feels like he should be recruiting Trent because Trent is more his style and is the guy that dominated the match.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah, it was a good opener, I thought. A good team match that actually had like a decent view going into it. Which I'd like to see more on Dynamite and not just always having to blow off at a pay-per-view. Yeah. Like I don't mind the TV match where it's not completely random or to further feud where this is the feud kind of. Right. So I don't mind that. And it feels appropriate for this because it's not the biggest feud.
If I want to nitpick it a little bit, I think Orange recovered from a pile driver on the steps real quick. You know what I mean? Because it looked awesome, and then it was like, oh, he's up and walking to the back.
Trent looked good here, especially towards the end. I thought the pile drivers and the running knee were vicious looking. Cassidy eking out the one makes sense. Like we've seen that a bunch of times. So that's totally okay, and especially with Trent kind of getting too focused on just hurting him.
Right. I like the story.
Which makes sense. Yeah. And he also took advantage of Trent trying to cheat, so that works for me. Trent looking in the post-match attack too. The pile driver on the stairs is gnarly. It doesn't seem fully over yet, which I think benefits Trent because, again, I think he's doing well right now and they're presenting him really well.
They are.
But once this is over, I don't know what he does.
There's a ceiling, right?
Right. So I think this being prolonged benefits him, if anything, because Cassidy will be fine.
And you started at the top too, because like there's Chuck E. T's not around to deal with, right? And Romero hasn't chosen a side or whatever.
He's kind of unaffiliated.
So he actually said he's now no longer with any of them, right? Or is that coming up?
He was because the other week he said he's not picking sides, and then this week he was like even trying to get Cassie to reconcile with Trent.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, Callis' involvement again is interesting. It's not fully explained yet because like you don't know how Cassie feels about it.
No. He's a bit distracted by Trent trying to kill him. To be fair,
it is weird that he's going after Cassie and not Trent. But
yes,
it's also kind of interesting.
Yes, it is a little bit interesting.
Then we get the Elite arriving. There's a cameraman in the back of their SUV. They honk excessively for someone to move, and they park in Tony Khan's spot since he's still in Jacksonville.
Right.
This was fine. Bucks being pricks, so it works for me.
My thing was, if they're EVPs, wouldn't they have the like parking spots right beside that? I guess not.
Or maybe they do, and they just wanted to do that just to be dicks.
Yeah. And sorry, I was going back to Callis too. I think that like I had notes on it and I didn't even remember.
Okay.
That some people will be like he's being inconsistent, like what's he doing going after a face? But I think like it's more like he'll do anything to recruit somebody, and he sees like he's like a predator.
Well, yeah, Cassie's the vulnerable.
He's vulnerable at risk, right? So this is what he thinks he needs to the role he needs to play for Cassidy to get him into the fold. The only disconnect for me is like if you look at the whole roster, is Cassidy the guy? I guess he had an awesome year.
Cassidy is good.
Yeah, you're right.
I'd say you could make the disconnect would be more reasonable a while ago, but I
Right.
think he had like a lengthy run where he was
He did.
winning week after week after week after week. So if you're Callis, like he's a guy that can pull a win basically out of thin air.
It's true.
So maybe that is someone Callis wants.
Yep.
And then there's a recap of Omega's promo from last week. Then we get Jack Perry. There's a promo from after Dynamite last week.
And he's mad.
He says Omega's not as tough as he thinks he is and hopes Kenny had fun hitting his moves in his hometown for the last time. He said Omega's not the hero they needed him to be, and now the Elite and AEW don't need him because they're going to change the world. He says everyone has to make a sacrifice, and Kenny just made his.
Yeah.
Another strong promo from Perry.
Again, he sounds good. He's not like over the top or in your face, and I know it sounds lame because it's what they're doing, but the hair pulled back and the beard help. Because he was such a baby face looking, like literally wrestling wise.
Yeah,
and
and when he initially turned heel, he had like kind of like the just short beard going on, and he looked like Hyde from the 70s show.
He has been redacted. Bad. Yes, I think like he's better, but my nitpick here, and it's not his fault. My question: why does he feel more important than Swerve? Why do several people feel more important than Swerve? And it was an exercise in let's count the people who feel like a bigger deal than your first ever black champion.
Bucks, Okada,
Omega, who can't
Perry,
wrestle.
Omega. 5 at least.
Right? That's not good. Would you eat what FTR being thrown in that match? Danielson?
They don't feel more important though. Like it's
similar importance,
I guess. Yeah. It's for me also. I feel like Swerve needs a better challenger. Like I do love Christian, but
Agreed.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's a placeholder.
Yeah, very much so. But like, so I really like this though. It was really good to follow up with his promo from last week as well as last week's closing angle.
Yeah.
The phrase that he keeps saying where everyone has to make it, or everyone's making a sacrifice for a better AEW is just like, I really like that for him. I think you were saying a similar thing last week because in becoming the scapegoat, he had to make a sacrifice and go away to get Punk out.
And now it's other people's turn.
And now everyone else is making a sacrifice. So now he's made Tony Khan and Omega sacrifice for it as well.
Yes.
And so I really like that, and it makes sense. And he just like, it's again worth noting how much more comfortable and like confident and just like proper he sounds. He's just so much better.
Because his heel logic is, I didn't really do anything wrong, and you punished me, and you sent me away, and I wasn't allowed to give my side of the story, and I have to listen to this blowhard in another company running his mouth.
So now you have to pay for it.
And he's the one we see on video that attacked me, and I got punished. So now everybody's got to sacrifice.
So I really like it, yeah. And like, I think you mentioned it with the Elite when they came out later, but like he feels like he does fit with them, but he's not perfectly like
And
them.
we'll talk about it now. Like when they come out later, I pointed out to you that I really like that Perry, it's Okada and the Bucks come out, and then he sort of drifts in behind them. Right? Like he's useful for them right now because he's got the attention and the hatred for Tony Khan, but he's not to use that term, but on the inner circle, it feels like.
Yeah. He's with them because he's like a means to an end. Kind of
deal.
Which,
and maybe they both know that.
Makes sense. Yeah, maybe it's Perry's.
I'm fine with it.
It gets Perry's foot in the door if you're him.
Correct.
Right? So, and if you're the Bucks, you're getting at Tony Khan, and maybe he does. Maybe they will keep him for like a better AEW.
It's like a mutually beneficial, they're using each other kind of deal right now.
I mean, maybe it could be more than temporary, but we'll see.
Yep.
Then we get an Omega promo from the hospital. He said the EVPs were his friends for 15 years, and look what they did to him. He said what they did to him was business, so it got him thinking. He said Double Nothing is going to mark 5 years since AEW started, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's something that I've actually seen since the beginning.
Right.
Which, I don't remember what I was thinking. I think I was thinking something with Jericho, as if there's a Jericho faction, I'd be very close to stop watching. But, like, I think it's with you with NXT. Since I've watched Dynamite since the beginning.
You won't give it up.
Since the beginning. It's really hard to give it up.
It is.
With NXT.
2.0 did it for you.
Not only had I not seen everything, but it also just broke me mentally to a degree where I couldn't.
It went from being the best thing in wrestling to a freaking joke. Like
it
overnight.
went from being one of my favorite things in the world to just something that mocked me.
The takeover era is my golden era of wrestling.
I think what I watched 2016 to Black and Gold's end. So anything from that is for me probably late 2017 to like 2021 would be peak for me. Like just whenever Undisputed Era came in, I think
super indie
things
era
really picked up when we had DIY and Undisputed Era and all them running around like that. that was peak for me. But
because they got afraid of AEW existing and signed all the talent they could sign
even before AEW
and shoved them down there, and it was awesome.
it was perfect. I don't remember how I got there, but though nothing's 5 years, right?
Yeah.
There's the train of thought. Kenny made a match for Double or Nothing. He's this year's Anarchy in the Arena, which will be the Elite against 4 opponents. He said 2 of them will be FTR, and the other 2 will reveal themselves by night's end.
Oh, and they do. Yeah, I thought a really different promo from last week. I thought last week's was awesome. This one was good too. Like last week was animated and emotional, and this one's calm and focused because he's recovering in a hospital,
and he's,
right?
Kind of getting back at them.
It's kind of sports entertainment-y with the whole like, hey, I guess I'm an EVP too, so I can book matches, but like sports entertainment isn't always bad. Do you know what I mean? Like you can entertain me. It's fine. It just can't be the sole focus. I need wrestling. I need like in-ring stuff. But I'm fine with some entertainment. So again, just to point it out, Omega feels more important than Swerve, and Omega can't wrestle. But anyways, I like this.
Yeah. Solid promo from Kenny. It sets up this year's Anarchy in the Arena match. As I saw multiple people predict, which that makes sense. And this one does feel a little different from the typical ones they usually do, because usually it's like a faction war, right? But this one feels more Survivor Series to me, because with the Team AEW aspect, because War Games,
it feels like NWO versus WCW.
Pretty much, yeah. Or
right?
like with War Games in WWE, basically the whole time it's been a group of guys against a faction.
Yeah.
Like you had Ricochet done more Raiders against Undisputed Era, Ciampa's team against Undisputed Era, Pat McAfee's group against Undisputed Era.
Right.
Then there was 2.0 versus Black and Gold, which I guess is kind of like this. And then it was Brawling Brutes and like Owens and like a team against the Bloodline. Then there's a team against the Judgment Day last year, right?
Yeah.
So it feels kind of like that, where you have like these team of guys who we'll see later against the dominant faction at the current time. So it kind of makes sense. FTR makes sense off the back of the recent match and feud against the Bucks. Not sure about the other 2. I feel like we could maybe get a surprise debut or something. Now I was thinking one of the spots would maybe go to Eddie, since he's got history with Okada and the Bucks, or Pac, because he just came off a feud with Okada.
True.
And I think he teamed with FTR the one week, right? So it would make sense.
Yeah, it would.
Then we get Serena Deeb with an interview facing the stage, because I'm never gonna let that go. It's just
their new thing. They're gonna keep going to it, I guess.
It's so weird.
It
just
is.
like it's so slightly bizarre to me.
It's like people said we don't have fans. We're gonna put fans in the background of everything.
Almost
right.
Deeb said she was excited while admitting she knows everyone loves Toni Storm. She does too. She said losing a Double Nothing is not an option for her. She spoke about coming back after 15 months on the shelf. The fans were chanting "Let's go Oilers," which I feel like kind of threw her off. Which kind of
okay. So she was super nervous. Her voice was shaky. Her hands were shaking. Because I didn't realize at the time she was about to start talking about like personal stuff, like the seizures.
I think that's what it was, right?
And it sucks just as she was about to start talking about that, that's the "Let's go Oilers," and it was just the worst timing possible for this.
Yeah, I felt bad for her.
Me too.
Because she was talking about how
battled,
she had,
though.
Yeah. She had 3 unprovoked seizures, and it was the hardest experience of her life. She couldn't figure out why it was happening, and she said the hardest part is that you don't know what causes a seizure.
Right.
She spoke about the vision and the dream to finally become women's champion. Storm interrupted, called Deeb a charity case. Tony threw money at her. She said she didn't give a single solitary, I don't know,
something
about what Deeb has gone through. Storm tried to hit her, but Deeb blocked it and knocked her out. Luther came to pick her up. The obsession with facing the stage still confuses me. It's just strange. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, so kind of what I feared happened, but it worked out okay. Like somebody who's serious and talking about their own personal medical history.
Like it's the same thing. It doesn't match.
Has to go opposite cartoonishness.
I did feel bad for her because, like you said, I feel like she kind of got nervous talking about her real life.
She did.
Stuff. So, and she kind of got thrown off by the crowd. And yeah, it just kind of sucked because it was nice to hear about like her actually talking about that, and it was cool to see what she kind of went through. But I feel like the fans struggled to get into it, and like she kind of struggled until she got kind of more amped towards the end of her speech.
And she kind of saves going against a cartoon character because there was one line where she said like, "You need to get serious." So for me, that's like my interpretation, at least, is that she's saying you need to give up this act and stop disrespecting the title and wrestling by doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like this is just shtick you're doing,
yeah,
and you need to snap out. So that's the only way you can sort of deal with her, because you can't just do nothing and be like, I'm honestly interacting with a 40s film, whatever it is, right? Like, it's such a weird thing to
Right,
do.
which is part of the disconnect.
So her going like, you need to snap out of this or whatever helped a little
for
bit,
sure.
right? And I thought she battled through being really nervous.
Yeah, but for me, that's also another reason why we need heel Professor, because
we do.
that's
100% we do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought like it doesn't mesh completely well with Storm's over the top hokey crap. I really hope Deeb wins because I think she's great, but I don't think she will.
No, I don't think she is either.
Storm needs to change. It's still ain't working. I hope Hater comes back soon because I feel like she's the one.
I mean, they could put it on Deeb because it's one of those things where you can do the exact same thing with Toni Storm with no belt. I don't think she needs it.
Yeah.
Whereas Deeb, she's coming in as the professor and this technician and whatever, it would legitimize her.
I'd like healed champion.
I still don't think it'll happen, but well, yeah,
you could do a double turn.
You could. Storm's getting cheered anyways.
Yeah, and I don't really care what Storm does.
And I think people cheer May in general as well. So.
Speaking of which, Mariah May versus Harley Cameron's up next. Never seen Harley Cameron wrestle before, and I'm concerned.
Wasn't there a little bit with Cassidy with a trainer before this?
I think that was. Oh wait, there is. I just totally skipped
with
over.
Rocky
That's
Romero.
Yeah. So Cassie's in the trainer's room. Rocky Romero comes to check on him. He says he got the phone with Tony Khan, so if he beats Switchblade tonight, they could get a trios title match with a partner. He suggests Ishii or Shibata are even mending fences with Trent. Cassie says no, they'll figure it out, and he wishes Rocky luck for later. I thought it was fine. Set some stakes for a quick match.
I just thought it feels like he's going to be the next one to turn on Cassidy.
Like
the guy just got pile driven 7 times and once into it, and you're like booking him in a trios match and suggesting Trent join you. I don't know. I'm suspicious.
A little odd that Rocky would want to mend things with Trent, but he's kind of impartial, so it makes sense, I guess. Maybe I guess you do heel Roppongi Vice.
Could be. Because I Trent on his own, Rocky on his own. There's nothing there. I don't think
Rocky's signed.
I think he's like in a production role or something.
I think with New Japan though. Doesn't he do stuff for New Japan?
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, now it's Mariah May and Harley Cameron.
It is.
The girl from QTV.
I was really nervous about this. I just assume, because I don't, like, we know a lot of indie wrestling stuff. I don't know her.
Her work in ring in QTV is not good either. So.
Correct.
Except for that one time she was like rapping or whatever that you really like.
I did like that. It was funny.
There's a very iffy like Shining Wizard type knee from Harley for 2. Some running forearms in the corner from May, followed by a spinning sidewalk slam and her running shotgun dropkick, which I think always looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Strike exchange, some questionable shots from Harley. Sky high from May for 2, which looks really impactful. Diving shotgun dropkick from May, which she does really well. Then May wins after hitting the Mayday. Saraya post-match attack. Mina Shirakawa comes back. She runs down for the save. Saraya leaves her to deal with it, but she gets taken on the spinning back fist. Champagne, whatever. It confuses me still.
Yeah, Callis was still on commentary, I noted.
Okay, so yeah.
My other note is I haven't missed Saraya one iota. Remember there were weird video issues? It was like cutting.
Yeah, and she was yelling
to
at
the
fans
Tron
and whatever
in the middle of the match. Yeah. She was interacting with a fan, and it felt like she was like taking attention away from the match. Like
at
she
times,
was doing stuff for herself. I don't think Cameron's good, but I didn't hate this match, to be honest.
It wasn't great. It was like as okay as I could have hoped for.
May impresses me, right? And her stuff looks impactful, and I need to see her in a longer match with a stronger opponent, I think. But I think her offense looks good.
And the biggest compliment I could give May is that like I see a match on paper and like that she's the good half here. It's not like, to me there's a big difference between like Anna Jay versus her or like Sky Blue versus Anna Jay.
Yes. And I think Mina has cool energy. She's a bit of an enigma. I think we're confused at this point, but they keep bringing in new talent when so many are underused. It's like, I made this comparison. He's like me with microphones. Like, I have more than enough and I can't possibly use all of them because I use 2 at a time, but I still want all of them. Like, I want more of them, right? Like, I know I'll barely I'll use this one once every 2 months, but I want it. And that's Tony Khan with wrestlers, I think.
Yep. The match was solid. Post-match was weird because her occasional presence confuses me. She's made the save for a heel multiple times, and then they dance and drink champagne.
And almost kiss.
Yeah. And actually kiss also before?
Before, not this week, yeah.
Meanwhile, Toni Storm has no involvement in this whatsoever.
No.
So
I wonder if it's going to be like Mina takes May away from Storm.
That's okay.
Storm can turn face. He can go. Deeb can go heel
for the women's tag title. So wait, we don't have to.
It's all about getting Deeb heel is all I want.
Agreed. Then we got a Pac interview. He's like looking kind of disheveled.
He does, and it looks like his hair's shorter. I thought he got a haircut.
Yeah, I don't know. He like Pac's just good at acting.
Yeah,
or pacting, I guess. He was interviewed backstage. He's asked if Death Triangle is gonna reunite now that Phoenix is back. He was about to answer, but Bullet Club Gold come in. White said Pac, or he talked about Pac coming off a loss against Okada and reminding everyone that he's beaten Okada multiple times.
True.
He said they could add more gold. Maybe he'll go after a Continental title. I'm all for it.
Yep.
And then he mentions his match with Rocky Romero later. He told Pac to watch to learn about winning.
Yeah, Austin did two things that made us chuckle. I don't remember what it was, but just kind of in the background, and I laughed.
White was like, he was like, Death Triangles DEAD, and then both of them said death.
That was funny.
Instead of dead, and then on the way out,
thing.
they were like guns up, and he was like, guns up, you bastard.
Yeah, he's funny. So I don't know. Is this like Pac resurrects Death Triangle, or is it just Pac White? Either way, pretty cool. I don't care. Right? But yeah, White. Both would be amazing. One and then the other. So anything that's going to get Pac in ring against someone cool, I am all for.
Yep. This was good. Always love me some Bullet Club Gold. Even here, they amuse me a lot. The guns are
They're funny.
They are funny. And White's good. White is so good at striking the balance.
He's like the cerebral leader, and they're like the two idiots behind him, and it works.
He does such a good job striking the balance between like kind of joking with them and then also be like serious and intimidating.
They're DX-y a little bit before DX jumped the
I love
shark.
his promo style, just the way he talks is
me too. Some people do not like his promos, eh?
I think he's great.
I do too.
He's fantastic.
I like because he's different, I find.
Even though it's a heel versus heel scenario, if they want to have him go after Okada, I have no problem with that. You could have him as Ospreay's first challenger when he wins Strong's belt.
Yep, you could.
More to what they set up, though, Death Triangle Bang Bang Gang is very welcome.
Yep.
And I was even saying to you that you have the trios match.
Long-time listeners, you might know where this is headed.
You have Juice Robinson come back, which is also a thing I've long prophesized, by the way. And you have him cost Death Triangle the match.
And
so now Bullet Club go to 4 people, and Death Triangle's down a man. So that leaves them no choice but to form Death Rhombus.
Death Rhombus. And then the dream is realized.
One day they have to do it. You can't avoid it forever.
And we'll know it's because of us.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever mentioned Death Rhombus.
Death Rhombus. It's going to happen.
And I was saying,
but why can't Juice join them and make the rhombus? And then why does he have to turn?
No, Juice, rejoins Bullet Club.
So then they... Oh, okay. I thought you were saying...
Death Rhombus fights
And we were saying, who could that be? What about
Taurus? Oh, Taurus.
Would be sweet.
If they were heel, yeah. I could see Taurus.
Either way. He just comes in and kills people.
Taurus, Roosh.
He's a bounty hunter.
Bandito. No, bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter? No, because you won't win if you get him.
Yeah.
You're cursed.
He'll be your fall guy.
No offense.
He'll be like your JD McDonough, which is sad.
They are kind of similar.
Roosh, Bandito, Taurus, Commander.
Anyone, really.
That's about it, I guess.
Angelico, sorry.
No.
If that's what he wants to be called, I'll respect him because he's cool as hell.
It's always been Angelico.
I know, but apparently it's not.
No. That's what it's always been. They can't convince me.
All right.
Then we got a House of Black promo. It's mostly just Malachi Black speaking about how Copeland's turning his dreams into a reality. He said that the man changed his landscape and became aware of his own mortality. He said they reminded Adam of who he really was, and Black said he has to kill the facade to show that Copeland is an evil SOB.
So I thought this was really cool, and he sounded great, and it looked great. But again, you're making all these claims. Let's see some specific evidence to really connect the dots for me. And I get it's your gimmick to be cryptic and ambiguous.
I actually did connect the dots, kind of.
So I get that your own mortality is the reference to you're starting to doubt your health due to the mist thing, right?
So my thing was, at first it did kind of sound like his usual mumbo jumbo, but then it kind of started to click to me because it kind of sounded to me like he's saying he knows Edge is this sadistic, manipulative guy from WWE, and he's masquerading as this happy veteran kind of deal.
That's when I want evidence.
Right.
Like you did this and this and this.
So through the mist and matches, I guess obviously they can't really
They can't. They're kind of handcuffed.
He's trying to get him to be Edge again, which kind of makes sense. It kind of sounds to me what Shawn Spears is trying to do with his, but to hear it makes more sense to me because Edge has been shown to be this ruthless guy, kind of like how Swerve has to atone for his mistakes, and I feel like Edge
and recent history had Edge coming out and giving that rah start Dynamite speech, right? This is the best, and we all love each other.
That you could use as an example. Yes. So I kind of like this. It did kind of make sense to me.
Yeah, I get what he's saying, and I like it. It's just we need, like, I think some people will be like, what are you talking about,
That's
right?
true.
Let's give us some evidence
That's
of,
true.
here's like flashes, because you could do it in that same style, that flashes of Edge doing vicious, violent, crazy stuff,
Even
but
like
they don't
if you
have
want to
access
use
to that.
AEW clips, show him doing concertos,
Right.
stuff like that, right?
Right.
Or like the stuff with Spike from the I Quit match. Like
Right.
you could still integrate AEW clips just to like show like you're this is
Yeah.
who you truly are.
To contrast him smiling and saying how much
Yeah,
he
so I think
loves
like if you
everything.
did this plus highlights from that pro AEW promo plus his vicious no DQ escapades,
Yeah.
then I think you would have a better case here. But I still liked it.
I thought this was really cool. Yeah.
I liked it once you put the dots together in
Yep.
your own head. You know, you kind of gotta think about it.
Exactly.
Then we're getting a quick elite package, which I really like because it was basically just like showing the history of AEW, but like painted the Bucks and them in a really positive light.
I just put
but
a
then
Bucks
like,
propaganda video.
but then it was like saying it was people like Omega and them were trying to bring it down, which I think is funny because Omega was affiliated with them for
Yeah.
so long. So I think like the heel logic there makes me laugh.
Yeah, and then it's like them, quick cut to them backstage being all proud of themselves for
Yeah.
showing such a great package.
It did make me chuckle when they painted FTR and especially Omega as like guys trying to get in the way of their
Yeah.
perfect AEW. So that made me laugh. And yeah, and then they're in gorilla position. They segue to Swerve segment.
That's selfishly, I don't love that it throws to Swerve. Just, again, the direct comparisons of like, here's our main event storyline right now by far, and now here's our champion.
Here's what's our main event
Yeah,
storyline.
exactly.
Anarchy in the Arena are probably main events.
Right? Like, you're not even joking.
No, I mean, I think didn't the main
Ahead
event
of Christian?
I think okay. To be fair, it did main event last year,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
there's that.
precedent.
And that was when there was like not Double Nothing last year was the Four Pillars 4-way, and it still main evented over that.
True.
So while I agree with what you're saying, if it main events the pay per view, that's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not because they don't respect Swerve. It just happens
That's
that way.
happened before.
Yep.
At least last year, that's what happened.
Yep.
So we'll leave it at that. Swerve queued up a replay of last week when Christian and friends beat up Swerve and took his dreadlock or whatever.
Didn't eat it. Did not eat it.
Did not eat it. Swerve said that he knew what Christian was doing because he had gone after the top guys too. He mentioned the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid, saying he's like the Connor McDavid of AEW or something.
He's the best hockey player in the world, apparently.
If you say so.
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
I don't even know. Swerve called out Christian and the Adams family to come out there, which is kind of funny.
Mhm.
I guess what Luchasaurus is Lurch.
Yeah.
And then
Morticia.
is her. Then
Pugsley.
but then we're missing a Wednesday. I guess.
Oh, to be added. Someone's coming.
Christian ripped on Edmonton, saying he can't wait to see Vancouver stomp the Edmonton Oilers because
Hockey.
sport puck.
We're in Canada. Got to talk about hockey.
Do something hockey related. He said every week he's gonna take something, and the fans are chanting "Let's go Oilers" again. Christian said he'll take everything from Swerve. He said Swerve's been riding a wave, but waves always crash. He said he's the patriarch of AEW, he's the face of TNT and TBS, and he deserves to stand at the top of the mountain as the world champion. He mocked Swerve for his gold teeth and threatened to take those from him as well. Swerve said he wasn't coming alone, and the Mogul MC pull up. It's real life Prince Bishop Khan, real life Maui from Moana, Toa Leona, and real life Machine Brian Cage. Hence why he
That's
earned
why
the name
you
Cage.
know he's a machine because his name is Cage.
Because he's called Cage.
Yeah,
obviously.
Duh.
We don't know where the Brian comes from though. That was just mysteriously tacked on
Yeah.
one day.
That's right.
This led to Swerve saying he'll embarrass him like Kendrick Lamar did to Drake. Because
timely reference.
Yep, CM Punk did that too, except I hated it more.
Yeah.
He said it wouldn't be the first time somebody from the West Coast took care of a fake father from Toronto. I don't know that.
Well, he's referring to himself. Swerve's West Coast, and he's going to take care of a fake father.
He said it wouldn't be the first time though.
Oh, so what's he referring to before that?
That's what I'm wondering. Swerve dared Christian to try and take the title. He said Christian will want to fight because he'll be in an uncomfortable position, and when he's in an uncomfortable position, he says, "I quit."
Oh,
I was there.
He did.
I was there.
I was there as well.
It looked like Christian was going to speak. Then Mogul MC turned on Swerve.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting that.
No. No drill clause. All you need to know. Swerve goes to the announce table.
Yes. So again, your new world champion, first ever black champion, gets buried in the middle of this show, right? Surrounded by segments with people who feel more important than him. And I wanted them to pull the trigger on Swerve as champion so badly, but they waited too long, turned him face, and then ran this elite storyline just to perfectly coincide, and I would suggest overshadow what he's doing, right? So both men sounded really good here, and I was pleased to be surprised by something. The attack on Swerve And the table spot looked really good, right?
Table spot was good, yeah.
But like even in this segment, look at the talent that are surrounding your world champion. Like not a top tier main eventer among them, right? They're all doing something else right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the segment. It's just overall, this isn't how it
Yeah.
should be.
This is solid, yeah. Christian's always great. Need him to go after Swerve's family or something, because that's where the real money is for his promos.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve had some good lines too. It just doesn't hit the same as babyface though. Seems like that would be the reason as to the MC's turn on him. He's babyface, can't have a heel faction.
I guess.
So I was thinking last week it was weird. Like Cage was the heel in that match, but he was still affiliated with Swerve back then. So I thought it was kind of weird. It makes sense to split Swerve from them. It just kind of sucks because now it's like clear babyface. Also, I feel like Cage and Gaze of Agony may flounder without a mouthpiece.
That's a fair point.
Unless Khan can talk.
He's a prince, I hear.
That he is.
An actual prince.
Because I know Leona ain't cutting promos for the group, and Cage,
no,
I would hope
he
not.
cannot.
So, unless Khan's a good speaker.
Or Nana stays with them and ditches Swerve.
Nana's too integral.
Correct.
While they need a mouthpiece, it doesn't need to specifically be Nana.
No.
Swerve needs specifically Nana just for the entrance.
Just for the dancing.
So... yeah, I don't know where they go from there, but it was surprising at least, and I guess it works.
Yep, I didn't mind it.
Then we get a Willow Nightingale interview. She said she's ready for Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. She's ready, but the question is Mercedes ready? She talked about how she won the last time they faced off, and Willow's been on the run of her life recently. She said in a professional wrestling match, she'll be the winner. She asked Moné if she's ready for the fight of their lives.
The fight of their lives.
Willow's good.
Willow is good.
I hope they have her win and then Moné turns full heel to join the elite, but because I don't want Willow to just be transitional, but like I feel like we know.
And she's mixing in like seriousness with the bubbliness, and it's all working for me. I just think she's really talented.
She's doing very well, yes.
Yeah.
Then we get Jay White versus Rocky Romero. I remember you did mention how bumping that theme is. That theme be bumping.
It is. It's awesome. And the thing for me, as someone who never remembers anything, as soon as the first couple notes hit, I know what it is. The gong,
yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's probably one of my favorites of all time.
It's good.
It's weird, but I love it. I listen to it too much.
That or Hangman's.
Hangman's is always going to be the
That's
best
the one.
For me.
That's the measuring stick.
That's the one, but like...
that's the benchmark.
This one's like... up
just
there.
Yeah,
it's not upper echelon.
I know.
Hangman's is just so good.
I forgot about you brought it back. Aleister Black's NXT is one of my favorites. It's a killer.
Really Hangman's, it's like
that's the type of music like teenage and early 20s me would have like listened to all day long.
It does kind of fit too because it actually has lyrics.
Yes.
Hangman's, it's like if it was longer on iTunes, I'd listen to it because they only have like a minute run. It never loops back. You know,
make your own.
We could, but yeah, it's my favorite. The Bang Bang Gang. White with a lariat. There's a springboard tornado DT from Romero. Romero with a diving crossbody for 2. Running slice spread for 2. There's like a high front trade suplex for White, which looked pretty crazy.
It did, yeah.
And then he seals the win with a Blade Runner.
Yeah, solid little match, easy win for White, as it should be. I was worried that he was going to need interference from the others to beat Romero. Which
I didn't love how much on the back pedal he was.
He was a bit.
Quality win, I guess.
Billy Gunn dominated him, so in your favorite match of the year.
That was oof.
Yeah, so it served a purpose, and I'm happy to get Pac on my TV, even if it's for just a second
Pac
standing
came
there.
out too. Yeah, if we're setting up that triangle local gold, I'm again all here for that.
Yep.
That is splendid. Samoa Joe promo. I forgot to mention, but like he was like training. I don't remember. He was like doing training, like kind of boxing and like just fitness, or whatever. And what he was
it was a bit of a montage.
He's still a killer, kind of something like that. I don't know. I just wrote like it was always solid. It's always good to remind Joe's a killer. It was nice.
I thought the same thing. Like,
I'm not sure what you do with him though.
It doesn't mean anything or accomplish anything other than keeping Joe at the top of your mind, right? And it was cool, a little segment to watch. But like, where's he going?
Yeah, I don't
keep him relevant because he's awesome.
I don't know what you can do with him.
I don't know, but I want to keep him because you could do another title run with him as far as I'm concerned at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Then we get Big Bill and Jericho versus Mo Jabari and Harlan Abbott.
Mo Jabari. The crowd liked Harlan Abbott. He must be like a local talent because they were rooting for him.
Notables, there's running corner splashes to both jobbers from Bill. Big boot to Jabari, followed by a boss man slam to Abbott. Big choke slam on Jabari. Another one to Abbott. Jericho tags in. Judas Effect gets the win. Jericho calls it Calgary instead of Edmonton, which was clearly on purpose.
Yes.
He says, we learn from mistakes. That's what the lyric tree does. He says he wishes he could be on Dynamite for 2 hours straight.
No thanks.
God, no. He says he's back as the For the World champion, which is for everyone. He commends Big Bill for his work tonight and said he's been pulled into the Jericho vortex. Guarantee trademark that. Guarantee.
Yeah,
He thanks Shibata for the great match last week and says it got the highest rating on Cage Match. Jericho thanks Hook and says we haven't seen him in a while since he essentially hit himself in the face with the baseball bat, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Shivati actually blurbs him that Hook will be back next week, and Jericho says he looks forward to that and they will celebrate all together.
Yeah, I thought Big Bill looked like a monster in this again. And it's like, I think the bit is that Jericho's not a face, but acting like a face. And Bill is like, well, I'll do that too then to get with Jericho and get on TV and stuff. And like, he doesn't need Jericho because he dominated the whole match,
No.
right? So I don't know. But the post-match stuff didn't really keep my attention. And this program with Hook and Jericho still isn't really working for me. But like Jericho's doing the I'm a baby face, but I'm not really thing. So, okay.
Yeah, I still don't want
Give that gimmick to someone else.
Squash is fine. I don't have any interest in this team or group, or the segment next week.
Yeah. You're still sick, eh?
It's not even, I'm not even sick. It's just like
Congestion.
like, I guess. I don't know. It's like, it's happened sometimes too. It's just like, sometimes you need a drink or something, but
yeah. Well,
maybe I'll get one in a break, you know?
Yeah.
It's
I'm making a coffee after this segment, so you should get something to drink.
It's just annoying.
That's why I notice I always bring a drink with me because we've done like 200 episodes of this and they're always at least an hour and a half and you get thirsty. Plan better.
Then we got our main event, which is Adam Copeland versus Brody King, no DQ for the TNT title.
Yeah.
There's a neckbreaker over the middle rope from King. He missed the running crossbody against the barricade, which looked pretty sick.
Yeah, so now we know it looks amazing when he hits it, and if the guy's smart enough to get out of the way, like Brody will take that. It looked good.
Yeah.
And just the sound of him clattering against it too was awesome.
It was a cool visual. DET on a steel chair on the apron from Edge, which looked pretty solid too. Like it looked hefty.
Yes.
King's dripping blood after this.
Like just pouring out of his head.
Yeah. Big Larry from King. There's a strike exchange. Cannonball in the corner from King for 2. Beautiful stump pile driver from King. Death pile driver on the apron from Edge. Spear from the apron through a table from Edge, which is done really well.
Risky for Copeland with his neck issues for sure.
But they did it.
It looked
really
good,
well.
yeah, man.
And then another spear in the ring gets him the win. Post-match attack from Brody King. Kyle Riley runs down and makes a save, and they take King out.
I really enjoyed this match. It was
I thought it was a really quality main event.
Bloody physical brawl, and I love Brody King's like deliberate, straight ahead style, and just like constantly returning to Copeland's head and neck, right, as he should. And then Copeland looks resilient. Lots of cool looking offense in this from both sides, especially Brody, I thought. But happy for him to get a main event, and this delivered for me. And O'Reilly with Edge seems like an odd spot for him.
It's just, I think, because they have the TNT title match on Collision, and that's it.
And he's basically like, you're using me to just get a shot, and O'Reilly doesn't deny it, right? He's just kind of like, well, yeah, of course. So yeah, I thought it was a really good main event. I wish it was the end of the show.
Agreed. I thought it was really quality. Not the most spectacular, but it was really enjoyable as a no DQ TV match. King looked good. He also looked crazy losing a lot of blood, and I thought Copeland's like white tights looked really cool.
It did. There's a good choice there.
Yeah. So that looked pretty awesome. I thought both guys did well here. These are matches where I tend to like Copeland more. The apron DET looked really good. The DVD on the apron. Tables here was well done. King running into the barricade. The power driver from King. Nothing overly crazy here, but I thought everything was well done and quality. Felt like a worthy last match of the show since we still have the Elite segment. I do hope to give Copeland and Malachi some sort of stipulation, so it's more along the lines of this match.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Then we get Mercedes Monet interview. She says we're 18 days away from her in-ring debut. She's so excited. She's so close to returning to the sport she loves. This is where the best wrestle, and she thrives in the spotlight. She talks about she's gonna be at the Boston playoffs. I guess basketball probably, and she's throwing out a pitch for the Red Sox on Saturday because that's relevant to me. She said
sport ball.
Yep. She said she's ready for Willow, and Willow took time from her that she can never get back. She says she's asked herself over the last year why it happened to her and if she'll be as good as she was. She says damn right she will be, and she's on a whole nother level, and she's that bitch. I wrote in brackets Jade Cargill.
I made that note too. Like you're just taking Jade's catchphrases now?
Yep. She said she'll show Willow why there's an asterisk next to her win, and at Double or Nothing, she'll wipe that stupid smile off her face and take her title. At Double or Nothing, Monet will change everything.
I did not. I thought this was rough again. Like she doesn't talk like people talk. She's done
her
some
speech
acting.
pattern's
It's really unnatural, and it feels really contrived. And I don't know why she keeps doing this. Is she not capable of just talking? It has to be the cadence and the tone is all, I don't know, just super unnatural. And and then borrowing a catchphrase from someone who just left. Man, I hope she really kicks ass in the ring still, because I'm not enjoying her anything else she's doing.
Yeah, there's some healer sounding things here, so hopefully we're on that track. She said
She still sounds like a heel.
Monet changes everything, which kind of made me think of the Elite changing the world line.
Yeah.
So
and Okada uses money.
I hope like Monet drops that line in her next pro or something, and then kind of tease that.
And get her doing something interesting. And talking less. Someone talk for her.
Okada.
Yeah, Okada. Sure. She should be using her phone like Shibata is. Honestly, it's as good a delivery coming out of that phone as her.
Copeland interview next. Kyle Riley's there. He says he's relieved and thanks Kyle for his help. Kyle Riley asks for a favor. Collision's his hometown, brings up the Cope Open. Copeland asks if that was his plan. He says, well done, and he agrees to the match.
Right,
so,
basically like, yeah, if you were doing all this to get a match, good for you. I see you coming. And O'Reilly doesn't deny it, which is the way I'd want him to play it.
I don't think I'll watch it, but
no,
that's solid.
Yep.
Then we finish off with the Elite responding to the Double Nothing announcement. They come out to the ring. Nick calls Kane a terrible country, and Okada says to Omega that Best Bell Machine says get well soon, which made me laugh. Matt Jackson said he knows Tony Khan is watching in Jacksonville, and Tony Khan was the best boss he ever worked for. He said they were never here to hurt AEW. They are here to make AEW a better place. He said Tony Khan got in their way, so they had to take him out. He spoke about Kenny Omega and their 15-year-long friendship, so they had to give him an EVP trigger to an EVP. He said that FTR saved Omega because they hate the Bucks, not because they like Kenny. He said if you want Anarchy the Arena, that's what you'll get. He said good luck finding 2 more guys to fight them. FTR then come out, and then Dax, after a little bit convincing, he was able to find a couple guys who had big enough balls for the job. First up, we have Eddie Kingston, who got a good pop, and that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he's got a lot of history with them.
He does.
And big pop for 4th guy, which is Bryan Danielson, which could work. I don't know.
Oh, he's going to be awesome in any capacity.
And then a brawl breaks out, which is eventually broken up.
Yeah, what's Danielson's connection here?
I was thinking because he's on like that committee, or to remember when, like, because he was finding people.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
But if you have to think about it, then that's
Okada?
too far of a. I guess, yeah, that's possible. That's
all I got.
Yeah, so honestly, obviously, 2 awesome guys to add to the match, and one of them has reasons, so I guess that's fine. But again, Elite have to end the show. That's like 3 weeks in a row now, right? That they're the final thing, and sometimes the first thing as well. So, overall thoughts. I like the show. I liked the main event. I liked the Trent Orange Cassidy. Stuff in between was okay. We got a women's match that was half good, right? And then there was, just thinking through, I think it felt like a B show to me without going through everything again. Like solid. I enjoyed a couple of the matches, and some of the segments along the way were good. Overall, not thrilled with Swerve's treatment, as I've mentioned, obviously, but like, yeah, it felt like a solid B. Not quite in that upper tier, but a good show. Went by pretty quickly. Nothing I really hated.
Yeah,
other than maybe Jericho for you.
Yeah, I thought the main event thing was solid. Both those guys make sense, especially Eddie. Like, he's got a lot of history, and Danielson works well enough. He's also going to be good no matter what, so I don't really care too much. As for the show, I agree. I think most things were pretty good. I think in ring we were pretty solid. Like, the main event was really good. I enjoyed the opener a lot. Squash tag was meh. Women's match was meh. Deeb's promo, like, so promo Deeb was solid, but like a little shaky. Omega was good. Jack Perry I actually like a lot. Swerve and Christian were good, and then the Elite was good. So I'd give it a B. Nothing spectacular, but like there's some good stuff here for sure.
I agree. All right, we'll take a break from the analysis and get into a little trivia, the segment we call Off the Top of His Head. Okay, in the attempt to be timely, we're going with King of the Ring trivia. Don't know if we've done it before.
I don't know.
Don't really
Probably
care.
not specifically.
I did chat GPT, and I know some of it's wrong because I fact-checked some of it. So we'll do the best we can. So 15 questions. It gave me 14 and then cut the 15th one off, so you get 14 today. So who won the 1993 King of the Ring tournament?
Brett.
Okay, so it's funny. You're right. But then the clue they gave is not. So it said famously declaring enough is enough and it's time for a change. Do you know who said that?
Owen?
That was Owen.
The next year.
So I had to figure out, I know that's not Bret Hart's catchphrase. And I don't know if, so don't say when Owen won it, because that might be a question coming up later.
Okay.
All right.
I just kind of said, but
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you. I was talking. But anyways, in 1996, who did Stone Cold Steve Austin, defeat in the finals?
I think it was Jake Roberts.
It was, and I fact checked that, and it's right, and you know that
it's
is
just
weird.
weird because that was when he.
It's weird that their time overlapped, right?
He kind of had a shot.
Right, he came back wearing the like shirt.
Yeah, and that was like when he had the feud with Lawler, where Lawler was like making fun of his struggles.
You know what I was reminded of the other day? Remember when Ziggler almost literally killed Lawler in the ring?
Oh, yeah,
Dropped like a million elbow drops on him, and then he had a heart attack or something.
Right, yeah.
Okay, who won the 2000 King of the Ring tournament?
That one was Angle.
Correct, and they added who he defeated in the finals.
Rikishi?
Wow, that's what they say. So you both can't be wrong, right?
I would hope so.
If you agree with ChatGPT, it's probably right. Which WWE superstar? So this one's funny because I think you'll enjoy this. Won the 2008 King of the Ring tournament.
Is there one? Was it Regal?
So
is there? I don't wait. I think there was.
There was one.
It was Regal, wasn't it? That was Regal's, I think.
It is Regal only because I looked it up, but they said the winner. So who did Regal beat?
No clue.
I'm pretty sure he beat Punk. They said Punk won it.
Punk definitely didn't win it.
I'm pretty sure when I looked up fact checked, I don't remember this, but when I fact check, I think it said he tapped out to the Regal stretch, which is awesome because Regal's cool and Punk isn't. Who was the first ever winner of King of the Ring? They got this. They got this wrong for sure.
Was it Harley?
So ChatGPT says Harley Race. I fact checked it and it said Morocco.
Oh, okay. Well, because like it used to be a house show thing, so it's really hard to like.
Yeah.
And also, I think they awarded it to Harley Race maybe first because then maybe that's what they mean.
So they even
maybe
Wikipedia,
Morocco's the first one to actually win it.
Because I still have it on here that it was Morocco 85, Harley Race 86.
Okay, so I honestly, I struggle with those ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. You were not born. Who won in 1994?
Owen.
And who did he defeat in the finals?
Razor?
No. Big guy. Big athletic guy.
Mabel?
For that era.
Oh, Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, correct. Mabel, athletic guy?
I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't say anti-athletic. Who emerged as the winner of the 2002 King of the Ring?
Lesnar.
Solidifying his rise to dominance. Redacted. Correct.
Redacted.
2006, who did Booker T defeat in the finals?
Lashes.
To become King Booker.
Robert Lashes.
Are you confident?
Yes.
They're saying Rey Mysterio.
Oh, wait. No.
Okay, go.
He beat Rey for the title after.
Okay. 100% sure?
I could even give you, I'm pretty sure it was Judgment Day 2006.
Because I don't think my double check here tells
see.
me. Oh, it does tell me runner up. Sorry, what year was it? Booker T, Bobby Lashley. You're right.
Boom. At Judgment Day, too. I even remember the show.
Lame. Who won King of the Ring in 2010?
Sheamus.
And who did he beat in the finals?
John Morrison.
It was John Morrison.
No way.
It was. And that's ChatGPT and Wikipedia.
That's crazy.
So it's gotta be right.
That was a shot in the dark.
Which WWE superstar won the 2001 King of the Ring?
That was Edge.
Was it?
Yes.
2001, confident?
Yes.
Correct. They're saying, and who did he beat? Do you remember? Because they're saying a Triple H.
I don't think so.
No, you're right. I just looked it up.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Wait, let me, okay.
He faced Kurt Angle.
Oh, he beat Angle for?
Yeah.
Edge beat Kurt Angle. Oh, yeah, that was the final. And then, okay, yeah, because I remember that was the one where Angle had multiple matches, but then he also had the match with Shane. Because that was that show.
Who won in 95?
Oh, Mabel.
And who did he beat?
Savio Vega.
Yes, that's pathetic.
That one's infamous, though.
97.
That one was trips because he was supposed to be 96
who did he defeat in the finals?
But Mark Merrow?
No, because the real question was who did Hunter Hearst beat? Unless they're wrong, let me double check. 97. They're right. Mankind.
That makes sense.
Who won the tournament in 2003?
I don't think there
was. Is this the one?
I don't think there was.
There is one that they had that doesn't even exist. 2003 did not exist. From 2002 to 2006.
That's what I'm saying.
If you had to guess, who would have won? They said he defeated Jericho in the finals.
I don't know.
Edge wins.
Edge won twice.
2003.
I guess.
Last one. 1998 King of the Ring winner.
Oh, wait, I should know this. Oh, was that Shamrock? Wasn't it?
not according to them, but in real life,
I swear.
it was Shamrock. Defeated who?
Rocky, I think?
Yes, he did. They said Austin defeated Rock.
No, Austin was 96.
What? Like, how good is ChatGPT that it can't?
I don't know. Well, it's like Austin won in 96, which they already mentioned, by the way. And then because that 96 was supposed to be Triple H, but then remember there was the curtain call.
Right.
And since
Famous.
outsiders were leaving, Sean's the champion. Triple H is the only one that got punished. So
Right.
his win got pushed back. Austin won that. Triple H won 97.
Right.
Shamrock won 98. And then 99 was Billy Gunn when they tried to try with him.
That's right. Well, we got to get moving, right? Because you picked up, you just got to, behind the curtain, you just got a call from work. They want you an hour early. So we'll go really quickly into, I think, our last segment this week. We'll talk about everything notable from everything else we watched. We call it Highspots and Restholds.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched most of Raw this week. Again, even saw some.
I watched
SmackDown
the main event, and then I think I found some highlights as
well. Sweet. So, what did you want to mention? Anything?
Well, the King of the Ring stuff was off to a good start because I saw highlights of Dragunov Ricochet, which was really good. And then Gunther,
I watched that match. It was awesome.
Gunther and Sheamus was obviously
really good too.
Because
the package,
they're never gonna have a bad match.
The Dragunov package ahead of the match, awesome too. Like him doing that same thing he does. Like he's got his own intensity and promo style, and it's all intact. The match with Ricochet was awesome. That suplex that on the floor where Ricochet
just flops,
lands and just flops and bounces.
Yeah, awesome. There's a lot of good stuff.
Sheamus Gunther, really good main event. I heard Io Natalya was good, but I fell asleep.
I also wouldn't
in the middle part.
I don't think I'd want to watch that either.
That's all I had.
The only other King of the Ring match there was Jay and Balor, but I don't really care about that.
I watched it. It wasn't notable to me. Like it wasn't doing true high spots and wrestling.
Other high spot for me is Gable versus Reed, which got interrupted by Zayn. Like it was a solid short match, and then Zayn interrupted. But like from what I've seen in the recent weeks, they've done a good job of building a triple threat, which they did announce for the Saudi show.
I'm enjoying the Gable Sammy. Like they just can't let each other have a win or anything.
Yeah,
right? They're just getting each other's way the whole time.
The story with Zayn and Gable has been great ever since the build to Zayn Gunther. Reed's a good big man, I think, and he's like just strictly like his thing's like a business thing. Like he wants the title, so I like that too. It's an interesting and varied trio, so it's a match I probably will check out from that show, if nothing else.
Yeah. NXT time?
Yeah, my only high spot from that was that Baszler won a match.
Baszler did win a match. So we got a cool video recap of Wesley's title run and his needing time off and a summary of his surgery and recovery. So he heads to the ring for his first match in almost a year. So great to have him back, especially like I'm saying there's a bit of a talent vacuum in the NXT right
I guess he'll be one of the rare ones that's like we can rely on.
Yeah, so we get Lee taking on Josh Briggs, and obviously Lee uses his speed to try and avoid Briggs' power. Briggs takes over on the floor. Lee uses a head scissors to send Briggs into the barricade. Briggs sort of counters the cardiac kick, takes control, but Ivar comes to the ramp and eventually joins commentary. Briggs is targeting Lee's repaired back whenever he can with backbreakers and uranagis and stuff. Lee dives to the floor, and it kind of course, Briggs lands at Ivar's feet. Then Lee drop kicks Briggs kind of into Ivar, rolls Briggs into the ring, twisting splash, and Lee wins in 10 minutes. Good match. Lee looks strong, not quite as like explosive and high risk as sometimes, but that's understandable. Coming back from an almost career-ending back issue, right? So he looked good here. Briggs is like the smart, deliberate heel with the back targeting and good stuff to start the show. And Ivar and Briggs start brawling after the match. Lee comes off the top onto both of them as we see that Oba Femi is watching from afar to see. It's nice. They've got a little division here with the North American title, right? So all these guys are sort of.
And Lee being in there keeps it from being like the big man
same
title.
Guys again, but like we're adding. They still want a shot, and he also wants.
And it's not exclusively big guys,
right? Perez and Green showed up earlier in the day. They're in the main event tonight, I think it was. We get a recap of the Natalya Vice Underground, followed by Vice accompanying Shayna Baszler to the ring for her match. In the ring, we get Axiom, Nathan Frazier. They're sort of talking to Hank and Tank are praising Axiom and Frazier. And then, Tyson and Tariq are there too. They're all impressed, and No Quarter Catch Crew walk up, and they mock Tyson and Tyreek for losing their debut match. Dempsey says that if they step in the ring with the No Quarter Catch Crew, they're in for pain, and Tyson says they're ready. So quick little segment to set up a match for them. They walk off. The OC come in and congratulate Axiom and Frazier for getting rid of all the Raw and SmackDown tag teams. The running joke that they've been there forever and that they're an NXT team is, I think, what they're trying to get over. Carl throws up the too sweet, but Axiom and Frazier say they're good, and they walk off. Gallo says that's why they're going to lose the tag team titles. I think Tyson and Tyreek sound okay, better than they wrestle, to be honest. And at least there's a tag division, right? Too bad
Yeah.
Good Brothers are in it, but
Yeah,
we've got a division.
It's something.
As you said, Baszler took on Petrovic and got a win here. Shayna bullies her early on, ignoring the ref's warnings. Baszler targets Petrovic's arm on the floor, continues back in the ring. Belly to back suplex by Baszler and right back to the arm again. Petrovic got one flurry of kicks, basically. She went up top, comes off right into the Kirifuda clutch, and Petrovic has to tap out pretty quickly. Love seeing Baszler pick up a dominant win, but this was not much of a match, to be honest, right? 4 minutes, Shayna working the arm for almost the entire thing. But I hope this is please let this be the beginning of her
She sticks around until
dominant
Heatwave.
run. Imagine.
Yeah. Have her win the title again at Heatwave.
That would be just making sure things are recording. And they are. Okay. So
I'd love that.
Then we get a recap of Fallon Henley attacking Thea Hale after Hale made JC Jane tap to the Kimura. Back in the locker room, Kalani Jordan's upset about Fallon's behavior recently. She says she could have smacked Fallon, and Fallon walks in at that awkward time, right? And it's kind of like, Henley says, "Why didn't you?" Kalani says, "Well, I thought we were friends." Fallon says, "That's the problem. She's put her friends first for too long, and now it's all about her." Makes sense. And that is, she's watched like a lot of people that she's in programs with go on to do other stuff while she's still there, right?
That's
so
true.
she's like, what I'm doing so far isn't getting me noticed, so it's time to do something kind of like Roxanne did, I guess, but a lot faster this time.
Yeah.
Montage style summary of the NXT Combine. So they went back to this 3 times. So this is events testing for speed, power, strength, and conditioning. So first installment, no, we get a sled push, 10-yard sprint, and an in-ring shuttle drill. And they tell us that Thea Hale and Kalani Jordan are in the lead early here, which makes sense with like speed and agility stuff, I guess. And I prefer they did these kind of quick recaps rather than full segments doing it, because just highlighting it and talking about it works
And
fine.
it makes it still like something you're witnessing, but not like you have to watch a whole combine.
Exactly, because I think it would have dragged and been not very good. So just like, here's highlights of it. Here's what the event is.
Just
few
to
of
show
them
it
running
happened,
through it,
right?
and
Like,
here's who
yeah.
did well. Beautiful. So DuPont and Igwe taking on No Quarter Catch Crew, which this time is Dempsey and Miles Bourne. Kemp is there. So we've got Luca Crucifino standing right beside the ring announcer, obviously applying pressure, who tells us that Stax will be the guest referee because the regular ref is unavailable. So
why didn't they do that for every
mafia
match
stuff.
they're ever in?
Right.
Like
it's
when they were
mob
tag
stuff now.
champions, they were tag champions.
And I guess Ava has no issue with this, right?
I guess.
Like back when they had no authority figure, this would make sense. But now we have one.
It would make sense in a weird way.
Why would she let this happen, right? So anyways, Stacks counts super slow for No Quarter Catch Crew, then super fast for the young ones, who end up winning because the ref cheated for them in 4 minutes. So again, not really much of a match. It got the new guys exposure and a bit of seasoning, I guess. But it's really more about the family and No Quarter Catch Crew again, and kind of anything with the family right now. Even though I like Stacks, I actually think Crucifino has potential too. He's really aggressive in ring, but I just don't care. And Tyson and Tyreek are big athletes trying to learn to wrestle, which is NXT is full of that. So hopefully they catch on, or they'll be gone, I'm sure. The trio of Ariana Grace, Chelsea Green, Gigi Dolan in the locker room. Dolan's having to sit in between the other two talking. Grace loves Green being there, and Green said that Grace was almost as perfect as her. Grace says that Green must win for all of them before Grace leaves to deal with her Meechin problem, because they're having a match tonight. After the others left, Dolan said she can't take this anymore and she's done. So this is her fulfilling the stipulation of this match. She didn't follow along with any of it, really. She like shredded the dress and whatever, and like belched at the dinner, and then she's just out. So it doesn't seem to make sense, but Grace and Green seem to have like similar energy. Like, you know what I mean?
It does make sense to me.
Maybe they'll work together. Roxy's interviewed about the match tonight she's going to have, and says that Ava, because she's playing the victim card all the time, right? So it's like Ava threw this together, but it's not about Ava or Chelsea. It's about her. No one likes Chelsea here or on SmackDown. She sent Tatum and Lyra packing, and she'll do the same with Chelsea as well. And all we'll hear is "and still." So she's doing the cocky champion with a victim complex. I kind of like it, right?
Yeah.
So good the heel logic of I sent Tatum and Lyra packing rather than Lyra got called up and promoted.
And Tatum's
somewhere doing something. Ariana Grace and Meechin. Grace shrieks about violence not being the answer, which is a bit too far for her character. Like, again, you're a wrestler, so
I get like how it kind of fits with the character, but like you could do something that wouldn't be because like yeah, like the no
Then
violence
don't be
doesn't
a
really work.
wrestler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you could have her approach like maybe be more ladylike or something like that. You
Right.
know?
But still, then once the bell rings, she has a violent streak. Or ironically, she's super violent herself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anyways, Michin takes control right away. Grace works Michin's arm for a bit. Grace tries to grab the ropes on a pinfall, but gets caught by the ref. German suplex, eat defeat. Michin, of course, has to win here in just over 3 minutes. I don't feel the same about Michin as I do Baszler, right? Like, I'm glad Baszler's back. I hope she gets the chance to
I
get
never liked
momentum.
Miriam
I
that
find
much.
Michin, she's just okay. She's got some moves, but like it's that Natalia syndrome, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like all the other stuff's missing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Baszler's a star. So another match kind of that wasn't really a match here. That's like 3 in a row that were really short matches.
Almost
Anyways,
fits on speed.
and again, Grace's character works cool, but the wrestler who doesn't want violence is dumb. Thea Hale thanks Ridge Holland for checking up on her last week and that people don't listen to her because she's so young. Ridge says that he understands. Thea says Chase is talking to her about calming down, but she has so much passion. And Ridge is like, it gets weird. He's like, you remind me of my daughter. So Chase and Duke walk up, congratulate
is
Thea on
weird.
her win last week. And Lexus King walks in, calling Chase you losers. He makes a crack about Ridge's daughter. Duke sort of steps up to, and he says he's got it covered. So we're going to get a Lexus King Duke match. He tells off Lexus. Lexus says he just made a mistake and leaves. Chase says that Chase, you have always got each other's backs. And I guess that includes Ridge Holland now. Battle for control of Thea Hale. It's like, again, same. We're running it back
I
with
guess, yeah.
Ridge Holland as JC Jane, and it's be yourself and be passionate rather
Yeah.
than like, anyways. They're looking for something for Ridge Holland to do, but I don't think they found it exactly yet. Anyways, Supernova Sessions, it's Metaphor with Trick Williams as the guest. Dar starts to introduce Trick in like a hacky way, like the dictionary definition of Trick is, you know what I mean? But Lash interrupts to be like, he's a very special guest. So Dar made a video for Trick highlighting his historic rise. It shows him on the bump and Shawn Michaels believing in him and photo opportunities and media stuff. Trick says he's not here for the games. He wants to see what's in the envelope that Lash Legend has. Dar tells Lash to reveal the envelope. She does. So basically, it's a picture that when Trick Williams beat Noam Dar in the past, we clearly see that Dar's foot was under the bottom rope. So the pinfall shouldn't have happened. So their philosophy is everything Trick has accomplished has been built on a lie because he shouldn't have even beaten Dar along the way.
Okay.
Not the weakest, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. Dar is going to expose Trick as a con and a schemer and be like, I can beat you. So, you know what I mean? So Ora Mensa reiterates that Trick's leg was under the rope and that Trick's title reign is flawed. Trick asks if he needs to smack Ora back to his motherland. He says Trick has no problem giving Dar a match. All he has to do is ask. He says Lash is acting like it's the Maury show and that Trick Williams is not the daddy. Dar asks what they're talking about, and Trick asks Lash if she wants to tell them or should he, and the crowd's like, ooh. So they ask what's up, and Lash says, Trick. So it's like, oh no, they're together.
Yeah, I saw bits of that.
Yeah. Trick says Lash has nothing to be afraid of and to tell people. She calls him Trick Willy Wonka. Dar is a nut he can't take anymore, so he blindsides Trick, knocks
He hits
him out.
one of his elbows, which is
Yes.
nice.
Stares at Lash, grabs the title, raises it high as Lash looks on kind of sad because her boyfriend got knocked out. So I guess we're doing they're an item in real life and in storyline. And the crowd seem really into, and NXT has a history of loving romance, right? So that's what we're going to get, the new power couple. Just neither of them are amazing in the ring.
I guess.
They both need some more ring work at this point. More combine footage, vertical leap, broad jump, rotational punch to measure power. Michin, quote, blew the competition away, but Jada Parker dominated too. So which is it?
How does Michin do anything?
In the power
blow
ones.
People away.
So I don't mind these segments. They have that real sports feel that I kind of like. It's the opposite of what the family does. This feels like it's real and theirs is bizarre. I told you we get a black screen with snoring sounds for a few seconds. Has to be Wendy Chu. And she's good in the ring, but they can't.
I feel like that character's.
They have to bring her back to have her shed that character.
Yeah, because like that was
it doesn't work.
That only really worked in 2.0, and even then I don't think it worked per se.
It didn't work, but she's cool. So we'll see where that goes. Natalia and Carmen Petrovic are walking backstage. Petrovic is sorry about letting Natalia down, but Natalia says it's okay because she's learned after 17 years it's about finding your edge and being the aggressor. Someone complimented Natalia on her match last week, and Natalia said thanks, And then somebody else tells Carmen not to worry about the loss because at the end of the day, she's still a smoke show. So Carmen kicks him in the head. And Natalia said that they can build off of that, and it's a start. And I was
Great.
hoping
Natalia gets to stick around too.
My line is, I was hoping Natalia would be gone by now. And I don't feel like Petrovic is getting anything out of this. But TV time, I guess. Exposure.
Yeah, I guess, if nothing else.
Then we get a match. It's Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan. I'll jump through here. Kalani starts out trying to talk sense to Henley, but she attacks her instead. Kalani takes control with athleticism, and then Henley slams her in the corner. Henley showcases a little more deliberate style because heel, right? Jordan's doing her usual high fly, high energy stuff. Henley yanks Jordan's arms. Oh, yeah, she kind of... I think it was Jordan's leaning between the second and top rope on her back, and Henley grabs her arms and is like ramming her head into the top rope from underneath. It kind of looked good and looked clearly heelish. Hard to explain. I guess I didn't do a great job.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture that.
It worked. Hard kick to the midsection as Jordan goes for a handspring. Henley hits a back elbow, rips the turnbuckle cover off simultaneously. Kalani runs into it shortly after. Shining Wizard. Henley wins after 10. Fine match, and I'm just thankful it was longer than 4 minutes because we got a lot of 3 and 4 minute jobs on this show. But Henley needs to get a little more convincing as a heel, I think. Good start. And smart to put her against like a super baby face in Jordan, right? But solid match. Henley establishing herself as a clear heel and room to grow. I'm sure she'll catch on. Dempsey says that if the D'Angelo family want their Heritage Cup match and payment for murdering Gulak, is what I put in brackets.
Well,
that's what it is. Then fine, but the no quarter catch crew have all the power, and it lies in the catch clause. Is it going to be him, Damon, Miles? The family will have to wait till
now
next
that
week.
Gulak's gone, why wouldn't it be Dempsey? He's
Right.
the best one there.
And
I mean, he always was, but like Gulak is at least like credible, and it makes sense to put him in a match if you wanted to. But
yeah, and then he's like, how does it feel to hold none of the power? But like my thing is, so the powerless family are getting exactly what they want in a title match. So
plus,
the power is just not knowing
who's to say that they haven't already taken out the ref.
Exactly. They could be
like
Stacks reffing it again.
Yeah, like it could be anything.
Back to the combine, strength and conditioning this time. Medicine ball throw overhead, Lash dominated. Makes sense. Ren Sinclair surprisingly had a strong showing, they tell us. Then we do an ISO mid thigh pull, and that's Meechin and Izzy Dame. Really worried about how much attention Meechin's getting here, not going to lie to you. Last event's a conditioning gauntlet.
Well, she was in the segment last week.
Endurance and stamina. You're right. Niall led the way in this one. So which 12 will qualify for matches and they get scores?
Qualify for qualifiers.
Qualify to qualify. Ready? So here they are and their scores. Saul Ruka, who they barely mentioned, scored 95, highest score. Thea Hale, 93. Jada Parker, 91. Brindley Reese, 91. Meechin, 91. Fallon Henley, 90. Lash, 90. Niall, 90. Izzy Dame, 90. Kalani Jordan, 89. Tatum Paxley, 88. Ren Sinclair bringing up the rear with 86. So again, Ruka was never shown doing anything well, but finished number 1.
Yeah, that's a little strange for like your number 1.
And Ava still sucks, if you were wondering. Lexus King, Duke Hudson. Hudson dominates early with strikes and slams with the power advantage, obviously. King takes control, and it's the usual basic stuff, like including a chop block. Hale gets in King's face on the floor at one point. King looks like he might leave, but Ridge Holland comes down the ramp holding a chair, so King has to get back in the ring. Ridge slides the chair in the ring. It distracts Duke and the ref. Super kick, coronation. Lexus King wins. Another 4-minute match. This week, I put 2.0 anyone, because remember, that's all it was every week.
And they still struggle with that, though.
They do. They put a bunch
2.0, it was relentless.
Every week, all the time.
Yeah.
King is boring. Chase U looks stupid in this, and Ridge continues to add nothing to anything. Dar is asked about what happened in the Supernova sessions. He says Trick got his lights kicked out. They're asked about Lash, and then they walk off. Javon Evans walks up, so he's getting a little bit involved in a story here. He's looking for Trick. They go back and forth a little bit with Dar calling him the shiny new toy, that he should not step to the metaphor. And Javon said he can wait for Trick to wake up to talk to him. So they're giving him a little bit of speaking here. I didn't think he sounded great, to be honest.
I saw it. I think he sounded fine.
Yeah. Jasmine Nix gets a chance to speak now. Thea Hale comes off as the girl next door, the spunky underdog. But last week she showed she's an animal with no remorse, when she shattered JC's nose. And it's just funny because the footage of it is it's clearly accidental. It wasn't on. And so that's kind of funny for the heel. She asked where the suspension is. If not for her, Thea would no longer be in NXT. JC is recovering from surgery, and Nyx will do everything in her power to take care of Thea for committing such a crime. I thought Nyx sounded like she was trying a bit too hard, but it wasn't terrible, and she's new, right? So it's fine. It's the most I've heard her say, and I think they were wise to pre-record it, right? They didn't have her do this live. Chase U's upset at Ridge for what he did, while King celebrated his win. More about Thea being like his daughter. Osborne questions Ridge's sincerity. Ridge says he will earn their trust. So that means we're going to get more of this, right? Vignettes with him earning their trust.
Yeah, you got to keep getting more.
And I don't care. But anyways, main event was Perez defending against Chelsea Green. It's kind of heel versus heel, so they default to treating Green more like a face, which is a bit strange. So bottom line, we get a near fall exchange, pop rocks that she didn't get all of, unfortunately. Roxanne retains after 9 minutes. I didn't think it was great. There weren't that many wrestling moves in this match. Very strike heavy, and neither of them are Takeshita, so it's not that interesting, right? I generally don't find Green very interesting to watch. She's like, it's like they plucked one of the divas from the diva era who could wrestle a little bit, but not a lot. Like whoever, I can't think.
She even said herself she'd fit in that era.
Yeah. The result was never in doubt. Not a lot of drama. Almost botched finish didn't help either. Parking lot scene to end it with, again, we get Tony D'Angelo's family beating up the No Quarter Catch crew and throwing Kemp and Bourne into the back of an SUV, so another abduction. Why not just murder them? You already murder people. What's the difference? Anyways, Tony D speaks into the camera saying it shows who is in control now, and they drove away. Dempsey walks out with the Heritage Cup in his hands, so abduction by cartoon characters yet again. Only a couple things. How are we for time? We should be okay. TNA, I really cherry picked.
If I'm driving, I guess.
I'll drive you. The system start the show. They all have gold now because Alyssa won with Masha, right? Matt Hardy interrupts. He's outnumbered, even though he has a chair. Did you see who jumps in to help?
Speedball Mountain, wasn't
Nick.
it? No?
Ryan Nemeth is there. So I knew that because remember, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but like whatever a couple weeks ago when he was in the crowd,
they were mentioning it nonstop
1,000 times. So you knew this was coming. It doesn't move the needle for anyone. I can't imagine. First Class beat FBI in a 3-minute match that nobody ever needed. Didn't matter at all. Choke slam by Francis, flash by Swan. Sound check with Angels was really bad. He had Khan on and Steph DeLander was there. And once he ascertains that Khan and DeLander aren't a couple, he tries to hit on DeLander, and it's just awful. Cheesiness. Cringy. Khan beats up security at the end. Diener and Jake Something lost to the Rascals in a really good back and forth tornado tag.
Diener and Jake Something?
So Diener's doing this gimmick
together,
wherever match he comes out, he's like, we're going to make this a whatever match because the crowd wants it, right? So this was tornado tag. Rascals tandem offense really good. Diener's selling is
Did they
fine.
acknowledge the Diener Jake at all?
I think they might have, actually.
I forgot they were.
And Jake Something looks like a beast in this run. So he looked good. Diener took the pin, obviously.
Cousin Jake.
Fun match. Exactly. Cool sit-down interview. I think just the first part with Santana and Hannafan. Talks about his run in TNA. They show clips with Ortiz. He's been gone 5 years. He said his dad died and that crushed him. They asked, he got clean for his daughter, and then it just kind of cuts off. So I assume we're getting more of this. Good, realistic stuff.
Who'd they do that with?
Pretty happy with the handling of Santana.
That you liked
to this
a
point.
while back.
They
it was
did.
Crazy Steve.
It was. And then look at him now. So then I went back and made you watch this because this is a contender for worst segment of the year for me. So I put Gabby Laspisa, ? Is in the ring for one of the worst segments of the year. Jack can summarize.
She was
She's
there in
awful.
an interview with Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke came out. They both are horrible. Dana Brooke versus Zia Brookside for stolen jewelry.
So we're still, stolen brass knuckles that are jewels. And it's the same thing running back. And this podcaster lady was rough.
It's just classic, like, you steal a thing, you get a match for it now.
And it was also like, is Ash by Elegance? Is Ash your first name? Like, that's a gotcha? And she's like, and then it was like the intrigue, well, then what's your last name?
It's a valid question, because
then it's like,
stupid.
They're super defensive about her last name.
Yeah,
like,
that didn't make sense.
It was all stupid. It was awful.
It was
Anyways, Jonathan Gresham debuted his new persona, and it is half the squid mask with the grills in. He beat Will Ferrara in 3 minutes with the mandible claw. So it feels super Lucha Underground to me. Might be an odd fit in TNA, but I'm still intrigued because I like
mandible
Gresham.
Claw is an odd choice for him.
I thought the look looked okay, to be honest.
I don't love it.
Then we got, last thing I had is we got a good tag team match. It got like 17 minutes. Speedball Mountain taking on ABC with the stipulation that the winners face off in a singles match for the future X Division shot. I assumed that meant ABC would win because they're kind of teasing dissension there, but it wasn't. It was Birminghammer Ultimate Weapon for the win for Speedball Mountain. So they will face off against each other. Really good match. Got a ton of time. Entertaining. So a couple pretty entertaining matches on the show. TNA's hitting more than they're missing. The other thing I will mention is they showed a vignette of like Giselle Shaw. She's like in a cabin somewhere almost being mentored by, I think, Gail Kim. So, because I was wondering where Shaw is because she's cool.
Right.
So it looks like she'll be coming back with some sort of slightly different gimmick rather than the quintessential diva thing she was doing. But anyways, you need to get out of here. So even if you have figuring it out, we'll just push it. Did you have anything? No? Okay, so that's going to bring us to the end of episode 199. It's the big 200 next week. Hooray! So anyways,
Maybe something, I don't even know.
we always say that and then don't do anything. But
Yeah.
anyways, we hope to see you back here for episode 200. Tell some people about us. We don't promote ourselves at all. Have somebody else check us out. Leave us a comment somewhere. I'd love to hear from anybody that listens to us. Thanks for listening. See you back here next Saturday. Until then, everybody, take care.